Why do we have sweaters?
Where's your jumper?
I didn't know it was jumper day.
It's thong
here
day.
On the Full Nerd.
Yeah, I missed the memo on that.
Oh yeah, see, Willis isn't in a Christmas sweater either.
Yeah, I have a fun one that I just bought over during Black Friday.
Is it? I'm sorry. Is it a sweater or is it a? What did you say the other thing was?
Yumper.
No,
Yumper?
the other thing.
Romper.
No,
sweatshirt.
Sweatshirt. Yeah.
Nobody wants sweatshirts.
Well,
I
don't know what Willis got.
I think it's a sweatshirt, not a sweater. I have to double check, but
oh my god,
too late.
Willis.
Too late to cancel. Too late to cancel. It's okay.
So disappointed.
It's too
Willis.
late. Hello, everyone. This is the pre-show. We've got a baby's handful of shows left before the end of the year. This is literally one of.
Wait, what is that? Is that some?
It's a small. It's a small hand, so that it only can hold.
But if they're holding a handful of nerds, it could be 1,000 in there. If it's grains of sand,
nerds.
I mean, I'm just saying, it depends on what the idea.
A big man can hold a lot of.
Also,
what
we should make full nerds.
I mean, there's a lot of things I should be making for merch, but yeah.
See, Elena agrees with this.
I'm behind on stuff.
Yes, that's exactly what my face is saying.
We could do Rage Unicorn. Rage Pony. Okay. What is
you
the
don't know the name of it?
I can't remember.
It's called an Outrage Pony.
Outrage Pony,
sir.
We could do Outrage Pony.
Wow.
Take your full nerd card and get out of here.
Wow.
Anyway,
what flavor would that be? I am curious.
Angry
flavor.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here. This is the
baby's
pre-show.
Handful. Yeah, we got a baby's handful.
There's only a baby's handful of episodes left. Well, because a big hand can hold a bunch of episodes.
What's in the hand?
But the baby can only hold a couple.
I don't think I think episodes are intangible and no one can hold them.
Well, a baby can hold less episodes.
Look, I'm holding. And look, I have
there
so
literally
many episodes in this bad boy.
Yeah, there you go. No, we literally have 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes
we have
left.
4 episodes. Crap! I only have 3 holiday sweaters.
Yeah, you got to buy some more.
I gotta get another holiday sweater.
2 of them are special episodes. So this is one of the final news episodes. That's going to be out there.
Good thing there's lots of news.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We're really knocking it out of the park up here.
Yeah. And then speaking of sweaters, this is a good-looking sweater. This is not an ugly sweater.
I like Bluey.
Same with Elena. Elena, that is not an ugly sweater.
I think that is an ugly sweater.
A really cool sweater.
This is what I would consider something that falls into the category of a good-looking ugly sweater. Like, I don't think I could just wear this and be like, oh, this is a great looking sweater aesthetically on its own.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think you could.
I think in the context of knowing that we are purposely trying to wear Christmas sweaters that are a little like it's actually pretty well done.
I think if I worked for Alaska Airlines, I would wear that sweater all through the winter. But if I didn't, I would consider that an ugly holiday sweater.
Also,
but there's no trees. There's no like Christmas iconography on that sweater.
No,
it's just airplanes.
Colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. Oh well, actually, there's like reindeer.
Oh, okay. So that okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, so you passed this ugly.
See,
I like it.
Look of it.
Yeah, I like it. So if you we actually used to sell sweaters. No, sweatshirts.
Sweatshirt.
Yeah,
Nobody wants sweatshirts.
Yeah. So because it was a cheap service, and so it was just all they were doing was printing. See, that's ugly.
That is really ugly.
Like nobody would actually wear that out.
Are we talking about the Zune one?
No, sorry.
That's
oh no, we're not there yet.
No, he's looking at Fortnite ones because he's a professional Fortnite player.
Yeah. But the service is optimizing the store for it's some anime store. I think this is a sweatshirt though. I don't think this is a sweater. I wish they would tell you because like I hate it when people are like, oh, it's an ugly Christmas sweater, but they're English and they're like, well, a sweater is sweatshirt in England.
Well, what's
and
romper?
A jumper is a sweater, and a romper is like pants
like
and a shirt together,
like overalls.
Like it's very impractical clothing.
No, a romper. I don't know about for British use specifically, but in the United States at least, a romper is basically like a jumpsuit, but a short version of it. So it's like shorts instead of full pants.
Oh,
so think of like
like
overalls,
a German lederhosen.
No,
yeah.
So think of overalls, but instead of overalls, you actually have like a full kind of shirt or like at least a full tank top on top that's connected to a pair of shorts, basically, and that's a romper.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like you got a TV VCR for your butt. It's like the shirt and the shorts together, like a TV and a VCR.
Oh,
jammed
the
in same
combo.
box. Yeah, the combo.
Yeah.
What analogy is this?
TV VCR for your butt.
Yeah, TV
Love it.
VCR for your butt. Look, the hot take machine started early today. I don't know. My coffee. Look, I choked the coffee filter this morning when I was making coffee, and it took like 12 minutes for the water to go through instead of the usual like 4 or 5.
Like you grabbed it and it was just like,
No, I ground it too fine, and and then the water didn't go through. So the coffee was real strong this morning. That's all I'm saying.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You put it in your veins.
Yeah.
No, I put it in my mouth, and then it went to my veins through sublimation.
Straight into your veins, just like this podcast.
Wait, are we going to talk about the Microsoft sweaters?
Oh, the Microsoft ones.
You are.
There's 3 of them. I bought the Windows one.
The one with Clippy.
Yeah. So for context, everyone listening, Microsoft just released their newest ugly holiday sweaters yesterday.
Yep.
And there's 3 variations this year. One of them is an Xbox one. One of them is an amalgamation of basically clip art related to Microsoft.
But mostly old.
Kind of like honestly, it's like a little bit in this style of the sweater I'm wearing, where there's like a lot of little items kind of on it, and then there's a very, very brown Zune one.
Well, okay, but the Microsoft one has the same problem that the Crocs had, right? The Microsoft Crocs had, where the gibbets don't thematically line up. Like, why is that a Go board on the sleeve? Is it like the sticky note I get? That's been in every version of Windows ever.
You know.
Oh, that's Minesweeper.
This one's Minesweeper.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what this is.
What's the 50? Is that 50 years of Microsoft?
My favorite is the Copilot.
Nobody wants Copilot.
I think the sweater is actually better than the gibbets. I do think they chose better.
I think agreed. The gibbets were bad. No Clippy on the gibbets remains a great crime. I think I like this Zune sweater because it has the 2 buttons on the bottom.
Oh, it's so ugly.
I mean, but it's an ugly Christmas sweater. That's the idea.
No, but it's like ugly. It's not good looking ugly.
I mean, of the 3, it's the ugliest one.
If I'm tier ranking these, like the Clippy one is a solid A. The Zune is a B maybe, and then that Microsoft is so low effort it doesn't even rank an F. The Xbox one.
Can you turn my headphones down?
Because it's just. It's like they were like, hey, we got to do another stupid sweater this year. Why don't we make it green and black and just write Xbox in a huge font across the front of it?
The Xbox One actually does give me vibes of like early 2000s, that kind of design and look. So I actually kind of like.
I like that one.
So I think if you're an Xbox fan, this is like probably solidly A tier. If you are not an Xbox fan, that thing's probably D tier.
I mean, so the Microsoft Store website or whatever that you buy from them actually has a live view of how many are left in stock for each size.
Yeah,
I actually kind of like that. Surprise, surprise! The Xbox one, when I checked yesterday, was the one that wasn't sold out of any of the sizes.
Wow.
While the other ones were, or the normal Windows one only had like larges left. I didn't check the Zune one.
Actually, thematically appropriate. I'm gonna go grab something for show and tell. I'll be right back.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sweet.
The Xbox one they made cheaper.
Oh wow, the Zune one they still have.
I'm gonna get one of these Zune ones.
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
So. Also,
I can't say that on the podcast.
Even if it shows available, like I was able to order the Windows one, even though it said 0 available. So it did a
it says pre-order.
Yeah, pre-order. So essentially, like I put mine in, you can buy it. And then you just have to wait for whatever the next. So maybe I'll end up getting it in March or something. It's like, oh, thanks,
next year,
just in time for summer.
Does anybody make Linux? Well, I mean, you need a sweater here in the summertime. Does anybody make Linux holiday sweaters?
Oh,
that's a good idea. Is it just penguins?
These are all sweatshirts.
Those are all sweatshirts.
These are all
ready
sweatshirts.
For this?
Bum 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 bum
Thank you, Will. Okay, if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, which Adam will talk about at the end of the show, I'm sure.
Then you're stupid.
I put a link. Wow. I put a link to the Xbox, the Microsoft Windows XP Crocs. I wrote a review of them because what else are you going to do when you buy a set of those? And when I purchased those, I was like, well, I'm going to have to pay for shipping anyway. I may as well see what's else in this store that I would want.
Oh, boy.
And I was like, oh, wait. It's going to be December soon, and we have been thinking about doing like a tribute to Gordon at some point. and I know how much he loves consoles, so I got myself this Xbox beanie.
Oh my God.
Which is like perfect.
That's really good.
Which is like perfectly like good ugly sweater vibes.
But it looks.
But remember how Gordon said that you can't be a streamer without a beanie?
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this on.
But that looks, Elena.
Nice.
It looks a little big for you. Like I'm just holding it up.
I couldn't decide between the youth size or this, and I got scared that the kids one would just be too small, so I got the adult. But this is made for like a gigantic head.
That's like a Gordon size head.
Yeah. Have you not seen the hipsters out on the street with like really small beanies? You know, like it's just
those
like,
are yarmulkes, dude.
No, it's just like a beanie where it's like barely pulled over kind of thing. You know, that's so that the small beanies are the
You mean like
cool
like
things too.
like the guy,
streamers
like the
use
Men
them,
on
but
Film guy from In Living Color?
I don't know what that is.
Do you not remember that? You're probably too young to remember that.
You know, I liked it in Living Color, but that was more the fire marshal.
Way nicer feeling than the Crocs.
I found a place that sells Star Wars Christmas sweaters.
Nobody wants that.
Look, here you go.
Yeah, see, look.
The season to be jolly it is, and it's a picture of Yoda. That's pretty good. Officially licensed. There's also one with Baby Yoda, aka
this is way
Grogu.
too big for me. Like, look.
Wow, that is a tall hat. You look like a snowboarder.
Wait, that's like cone heads. Like it's not even like thickness. Like you'd have
It's
to have
weird
a long
because like
head.
the circumference around like the band is really kind of small, so I don't really understand who this is for.
Or maybe it's supposed to just be
This
floppy.
is how the kids wear them these days. Yeah, they just want the floppy
Is it
hat.
really just supposed to be flop? That's weird.
Yeah,
I don't like.
I
that
would
is
fold
weird.
that one up, I think, even though the Xbox is on the
Well, yeah.
outside.
Then you lose.
Yeah, you lose
But then
the
you
Xbox.
lose. You just get like nothing but green.
Well, so look, I searched
pattern.
hipster beanie, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, you know, it's so small that like all they
Show it
do
to
is
camera.
You just want
zoom out.
you
There's
want
no
the,
touchscreen.
but you don't want it like you don't need it to be.
I know, but like this is what I'm talking about. Like when it's too small, it's a hipster beanie.
I do
you
want
know?
my ears
Elena,
covered. I think.
Elena, this is a hipster beanie. What I would consider a hipster beanie.
Oh, that's too small.
Right,
Yeah, see, I
see,
didn't want
so
that. I
it's
didn't want that
intentional.
happening to me with the youth size one.
No, but look at that guy.
So
He
here I am
you know,
with
he's
my
a
way
hipster.
way oversized beanie.
Like it even is called
Representing.
extra short. But yeah, it doesn't cover your ears. So it's like what? It just covers the top of your head, which is not a yarmulke, not the same thing.
All right, Elena,
You say it's not a yarmulke.
what Xbox games are you streaming right now? Are you going to be streaming?
Yeah. What up, chat?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Halo.
Wait,
There you go.
can you turn your colors to RGB for your key
Hold on,
light?
let me just press this button
There you go.
right here. See, green.
Just G. Yep.
Oh, no, it goes red.
Just G.
Oops, all G.
Oops, all G. All right.
Oh man, look at this Houston. Look at this NASA sweater.
Oh, that's
Can you
good.
turn it for the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's good.
It's just a big meatball logo.
That's
Wait, I want to see.
good.
I can't see.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you have to send me the link, I think,
that's
in our
good.
chat because
I
I
don't know if I
can't
have-
see it.
Oh, yeah.
I
You
don't know
can't
if I
really
have
see it
Slack on this.
yeah.
Here we go.
That looks good. Okay.
I'll post the link in the YouTube chat. So
There you go.
everyone
Boom.
can share.
Spaceman?
Thanks, chat. What up, chat? Hello,
This is
chat.
not an advertisement.
How are things going, chat? Are we all up in the chat? How are things going over there, Willis? Hamsters?
Hamsters
Chatting it
running.
up?
I apologize to the viewers because earlier I was checking focus and then I didn't know.
I saw it pop up
Yeah.
and I
It
was
was-
like, yeah, it's funny.
Is the camera setting? I
Beard
need to turn
focus,
off the
man.
HDMI. But anyway, so everyone now knows that the secret to focusing the view is Adam's beard. So
Beard.
yeah, his beard is the the focus.
You got to pull focus onto
Yeah.
the beard.
I mean, there's a long history of that. We tested, used to do beard focus as well back in the day.
Beard focus. Love it.
Okay,
Okay.
everything's good.
We're ready to start the show. Unfortunately, Brad couldn't join us last minute. Snow where he is, and so he lost internet.
crapped
Yeah,
out on
likely
him.
story.
Yeah, likely story. Whatever.
What's the
It's fine.
most cursed brand for a holiday sweater? There's a Stranger Things holiday sweaters in here.
Are you on the Netflix?
I'm looking
shop?
at a Grinchmas one. No, this is just someplace that licenses a buttload of
Oh,
Christmas
have you
sweaters.
seen? Sorry, real quick before we
Wow.
start. Have you seen
You hit me.
the clip of there was a Grinch who was doing like the mall Santa thing? Like you could get your photo like on with the Grinch kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like a mall Santa,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a Grinch.
But mall-
Yeah.
Anyway,
I know the Grinch.
the kid, like a couple kids came up to him, and I don't know why, maybe apropos of nothing, they went up to him, they said 6'7", And he went 8-9, and they were like, "No!" And so, like, I guess parents are
No
starting to
better
do
way
that.
to discourage
Yeah.
the kids
Well-
than to make it terrible for them.
And supposedly it is
Good
like
job.
angering the kids enough that they're not doing it.
It's not cool anymore.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's great because
great.
the thing is that you have this cover story of just being an ignorant adult when
Yeah.
you do it,
Yeah.
but it's actually a malicious campaign on our part to get them to stop.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The kids are doing 6-1 now, is what I was told this weekend.
What?
6-1
What
is the
is
new
6-1?
6-7. It means
That's when I'm just like, oh, is that what you're dialing on your keypad? Like
I'm
what we
6'2".
did when we were kids?
I'm 6'1.5".
Ooh,
Yeah, no, I probably used to be
Always
Well,
be
that's what
growing.
they all say on their profiles,
Yeah.
Will. That's
Yeah.
what they all say on their profiles.
Oh, wow.
outing.
Okay, well, let's get the measure. Let's get the tape.
Nope. Let's start the show is what we need to do.
I don't know what you guys are thinking of. I'm talking about dating profiles where guys are like,
We
oh,
knew
yeah,
exactly what you were talking about, Elena.
Yeah.
More like 3-2.
Data says you thank you, Grinch. You saved Christmas again.
Yeah. Anyway,
I could get a Harley Quinn Christmas sweater.
Oh,
no, please don't.
That's pretty cursed.
All right, we ready? Are you ready?
I don't think I'm ever ready
Okay.
again.
Also, why does that cap have a ear hole? Oh no, it's his eyebrows.
It's an eyebrow.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
the eyebrows come through.
Okay.
Look, the eyebrows.
It's
They don't wear
floating
hats on the
eyebrows.
show. I bet
It's also just floating eyebrows. They're just floating into nothing.
I bet like 15 artists spent 3 weeks talking about how important the eyebrows were to character expressivity, and where they were like, we have to show the eyebrows when they're wearing hats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They could have just asked
Otherwise, they just look angry all the time.
asked AI, you know.
Yeah, that's the right
we go.
answer.
Boom.
Ask Dan
Got
Hauser
him.
what he thinks.
Got him.
You
Okay.
walking around the Christmas tree. This one's pretty good.
All right. We're done.
Really?
Let's
Okay.
start the show.
I could do
Let's
this all
start
day.
it. Let's start it. What are we even talking about? This is what we're talking about. All right. Willis, you ready?
yeah.
Here we go. In this episode of The Full Nerd, we talk about CES 2026 expectations and Elena's yearly Black Friday build. Let's do it. Boom. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. And welcome everyone to episode 376 of the Full Nerd Podcast, the weekly podcast about the best weekly podcast about DIY desktop PC building. I am your fill-in host, Adam Patrick Murray, but I'm not alone. I'm with two people. One of them is paying attention. One of them is not paying attention.
What are you talking about Willis like that for?
First,
Gosh.
Ouch.
commanding presence over the whole TV, wearing her streamer setup is one Elena Yee. Hello, Elena.
This is my Christmas streamer setup.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. Love it. It's really cool looking. Will is also in a Christmas get-up, but he's looking to buy even more of them. Hello, Will.
Well, I realized there's one extra show, and I have. I was like, today I can wear my first Christmas sweater because I have 3 Christmas sweaters.
Yeah.
But then I realized there's
we have
4
a baby's
shows.
handful of
a baby's
shows
handful
left.
of shows.
Yeah.
So Will, me too. I was like, I only have 2 Christmas sweaters.
Yeah.
And I know I'm going to buy. Sorry, Willis. We will definitely get to you in a second. And I was like, and I know for the predictions show, I'm going to have to do some non-zero number of push-ups because after this year, there's definitely things that I got wrong. There's no way I couldn't have gotten something wrong. So I'm like, okay, like there are like holiday T-shirts, and I'll buy one of those.
Yeah.
But now I have one more week. I'm like, what am I going to do with that week?
Well,
always be buying Christmas sweaters. Speaking of which, Willis, controlling verticals horizontals, he bought a Christmas sweater.
Hello,
not here
everyone. Yes, I did. Over the holidays, I'm not gonna say what I got, but I'll reveal it. Like, when do we? I thought
You
we
think
had,
it'll come here in time?
No. Well, yes, but when
Oh,
do
okay.
we usually have Is it like end of the year Christmas the predictions or?
Oh, when
what
do we
episode?
usually wear it?
Yeah, I thought we had a particular time we wear ugly sweaters to the show.
I don't remember any specifics.
I assumed it was.
I think
every
it's
time
just
between
a sprinkle, like a
Thanksgiving
little.
and Christmas.
No,
is,
it's
you
the
know.
thing that I've been informally doing the last few years when I had that Be Quiet one that everybody likes.
Oh, it's so good.
That one's really good.
That was really good.
So I have that one, and then I got this one, and I was like, oh, like that's enough to put some holiday cheer in there. And now Will is helping make this a thing for the group.
I love to spread holiday cheer.
Well, speaking of holiday cheer, it was Black Friday. Elena, how did the live blog go? I want a live blog update.
Yeah.
There was definitely live blogging that happened.
Yep.
I don't know how many people found it helpful or
Okay.
useful. But it was very interesting trying to keep that thing fed. It felt like one of those like comedy bits from like early TV where like there's like I got a conveyor belt and you're just like trying to keep everything moving and
Like
then
there was
things
so
start
many
falling off the
deals?
conveyor belt. Yeah, well, it's like you have to keep the thing moving, right? Like you don't want it to seem dead, but at the same time, I'm in the background going like, what do I like? What do I want to like? What do I want to highlight? And trying to do that quickly. So I'm definitely slower than Brad. Brad definitely outpaced me, so he is the better live blocker for sure. I wasn't surprised that that was the outcome. I had a feeling going into it that it would be that way.
Did you have an average post per hour?
Yeah, I think I averaged around like 4, maybe 4.5. If I wanted to be generous to myself.
Yeah.
He's like 5 or
It's
more.
not that off. It's not that off. Yeah.
Oh, he's much better. So, yeah, it was an interesting experiment. It was probably not what our crew would want because there was I mean, maybe not. There was not a lot of focus on hardware. I did try to slip more in when I got there because I was like, oh, Brad's got like all the consumer electronics kind of covered. Okay, here's a power supply deal, everybody. Here's a case deal.
Well, was there anything so good that you were like, I got to buy that?
I actually spent this year not buying as much as I normally do. I actually did more like houseware shopping. So not so much tech. Like I bought a few chargers because I was like, it's $10 and it includes the charger and the cable. And it's a brand that so far seems reputable. So
Okay.
Is it like high
Like,
output
do
stuff
that.
or is it just more like phone, simple kind
no,
of stuff?
just phones because there's that not Pixelbook. There's that Chromebook that I'm trying to resuscitate as a Linux machine, and it actually can take a 30-watt charger. It doesn't even actually need that much. So I was like, oh, I can give it its own dedicated charger now. So we'll just do that. So I don't have to, steal from my like setup for my phone stuff. So there was that. But yeah, it's like household goods for me. I was like, oh, I should probably get a mop, like a electric mop.
Oh yeah, those are the electric steam ones, like that has the reservoir and then it like pushes out steam. Is that what you're talking about?
I didn't
do
get
those
the
work?
Steam one.
Oh, we've been using it for years. I love it.
I didn't get the Steam one because I had read that it can damage floors, and I don't want to get in trouble.
I mean, we
or
rent,
have to
so
worry about
I
a
don't care.
deposit. You don't care about your deposit, cool.
I'd party at Adam's
so I
house.
just got- I know, but I just got like one that's just like I think it's just like does like some spinning and it helps with the scrubbing a bit. So it's like I'm probably gonna have to still do like some like manual like regular mop scrubbing on certain spots, probably in the corners. But
It's always the worst part.
nice not to have to like constantly like empty the dirty water, get fresh water, empty the dirty water, get fresh water.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, so we have one of those spinny mops. I don't know. You put it in a thing, like you dunk it in a bucket with soap, and then you put it in a thing and you stomp a pedal and it spins it real fast to knock all the water out.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, I don't have a particularly large house, but generally when I mop, it's like
She has a dirty house. Okay, don't.
I'm not shaming.
Don't shame
I'm
her
not
dirty
shaming.
house.
I mean, look,
yeah.
San Francisco.
It's okay.
Because of all the fog.
Sure.
San Francisco tends to collect grime in a way that no place else I have ever lived does.
Yeah.
But
Really?
yeah, it's a nightmare. Like we get so much more dust here than any place else I've ever lived.
Oh, I've lived in other parts of California that's even dustier, man.
No, like you live in the Central Valley or something. It's going to be dusty. But
Yes.
but like the thing that happens here is the moisture in the air carries the dust particles, and then when it lands on something,
Cakes
it
it.
just cakes, and it's in a way that's really icky.
Yeah.
The spinny mop, I maybe dump the water when I switch from the wood floors to the tile and linoleum and stuff, but I don't just because I use a different cleaner for the wood than for the other stuff. I don't like the mop water can get no matter how gross the mop water is, it still cleans.
Look at
right?
this guy. He's got a clean house. Just
I'm just saying, it's real
I
clean.
can't do it.
Wow. Okay.
The visual on it just makes me go,
Well, what'd you get? Pick up anything good for Black Friday? Tech or otherwise? Okay, Willis. Anything?
Yeah, I treated myself to a nice air fryer.
Ooh, what'd you
Yeah.
get, Willis?
Was it a standalone air fryer? Like
Yeah.
not like a combo unit?
Yeah, it's just a standalone air fryer. So I got the Ninja 5 quart that is a 4-in-1. So
Ninja,
I-
good company,
Yes.
I like
Yeah,
that.
so treated myself to one. So yeah,
Is it here yet?
it will be in the office at some point today.
Wait.
Oh, you're gonna fry stuff here in the office for us?
Oh man, I'm ready to have
that's
some
awesome.
fried stuff.
We're gonna need to pick up some. Yeah.
Yeah,
What can
and then
we
Will
air fry?
brings the pies.
I didn't bring the pies. I
bring
was
any
really
pies.
busy yesterday. I'm sorry.
Whatever.
It was hot
I
too.
get
air fry a pie.
Yeah,
huh?
so you're gonna pie stuff for us.
Well, it's
He's
fair
gonna-
because Will did say he'd only do it if I came into the office, and I
Yeah.
didn't come into the
Elena's
office
not
today.
here.
So
True. Right. Well,
it's
next
your
week.
fault, Adam, because you told me not to come into the office today.
True.
Yeah. I didn't buy
hey,
anything.
listen, Elena, Will.
What's
I
up? What
I
up,
took
Chad?
your advice.
Yeah.
I got the only really well. I got a couple work things. I actually ended up. We'll talk about it later when it gets in.
Oh
but-
yeah, I bought an external SSD.
Yeah, I did too, but I found there's ones that do hardware RAID on the device, so it has 2 NVMe slots.
What kind of budget are you operating? You can afford 2 NVMe's in this economy.
He's
He's expensing everything.
Oh,
We've got
okay.
expensive everything.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't come populated. Like
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So-
Well, because like we're gearing up for CES, and usually we have external drives that we
Yeah.
take. The problem is that I mean I don't know
putting all
about
your
these
eggs in
guys,
one
but
basket.
we're not always the best at backing up.
Weird.
But if you get one that has 2 and
just
SSDs in
backs
one
up for
thing,
you.
it's you switch the little flipper for RAID. Anyway, that was pretty much the only tech stuff I got. But I took the plunge and
Yeah.
I bought the expensive socks.
Oh. Wow. Thanks.
Oh,
So
Wow. I don't ever want to hear about you taking your shoes off
Yeah,
around me
so-
again. How do your feet feel?
wow.
Yeah.
For audio listeners, Adam has just
He's
stuck
wearing
his
ankle
foot
socks.
on the table
Yeah.
It's like
for
just
everyone
hanging
to
out.
see.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can see a little dirty on
And
the
maybe
ball.
Smaller than I
explain the fact
expected.
that Will has no HR department to report to.
I actually
How
contractors
do they
are still
smell?
covered.
Yeah.
It's
Are
they
they okay?
look.
Well,
I
they're
don't-
darn tough. So
Yeah, I took my shoes off, and you're all like, "Oh, blah blah blah! This is the worst thing that ever happened." I didn't put my feet on the table like some sort of animal.
That is disrespectful.
Well, who are you, Quentin Tarantino?
so anyway, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get one pair of a couple different kinds of styles,
Yeah.
right? Like
You're just testing 'em out.
normally day to day I do ankle socks like this.
Yeah.
So I got one pair of those, and then I got like some. I can't remember. They had weird nomenclature for like the sizes. Like there's crew, and then there was like a mini crew or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I ended up getting.
He says weird. Me, I'm like, oh, that's pretty standard. I'm used to it.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, and so I think in total I got 3 pair, maybe 4 pair.
Those will last you the rest of your life.
Yeah, well, I mean they better because they're like this pair of short socks was $20. I was just like,
Did you buy it on GoBros or?
well, so I did my initial round in GoBros, and then I was like, oh, I want to get one with the short socks, so I got this one on Amazon. But the other ones I got
that's
on
why it's
GoBros,
more expensive.
and they're
Okay.
not in
Yeah.
yet.
The thing I will say, because they're the same price as Smart Wools, and the Smart Wools are usually good for about 5 years for me.
Mm-hmm.
And these so far I'm at the 7-year mark on my first batch of Darn Toughs now. So
Okay,
you
well,
it's like you're making an investment in your feet.
I mean,
you know?
but like the hard part for me though is that like I literally have like just a drawer full of like a bunch of those Hanes,
Yeah.
no show socks, like
Yeah.
and so just like I can go a couple weeks
Without washing
having to wash
socks.
socks. So
Yeah.
like the idea of trying to replicate that with these expensive socks, like no,
you
I'm
just
gonna have
add
to wash
one
more
every
often.
3 months, and then in 12 years you'll have as many
Very
socks
I'm
as
sure
you
Lindsay
have.
would love that.
But
Yeah,
very, very comfortable. I can't say that.
Yep.
They're a little warmer
yeah.
on the warmer
That's
side.
a good side. That's a good thing.
No,
Nobody
because
wants
I
cold feet.
run hot.
Well, look,
So yeah.
you just need to make worse circulation.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was my big purchase. I got expensive socks.
Nice.
So
Me too.
Can we get some disinfectant for the table or anything? It's like I don't want to get foot fungus on
I
my
got
hands
Purell.
for
Do
the
you need
holidays.
Purell?
yeah, there you
Ringworm.
Yeah,
go. Hey, these are brand new socks.
I'm not worried about the socks. The feet are old. The socks
Feet
make
are
me
in
know.
the clean socks. Literally
Look,
brand new
it's
clean
porous material, man.
Will, do you need Purell?
There you
No,
go.
I'm fine. I didn't touch them.
Anyway, speaking of Black Friday, one of the annual traditions of Elena's career here at PCWorld has been to do a thought experiment, which is
Yeah.
what is the cheapest gaming PC you could build out of Black Friday deals? But it's also not like the cheapest as in, the cardboard
Literal
box,
cheapest.
yeah, like junk stuff. It's still something that you would actually build
Or
if
recommend.
you did or recommend. You only one year you ever actually bought the parts and built them, right?
Yes, because you wanted me to do it as an
Yeah.
experiment. I think it
Yeah.
was during the pandemic when we were like, oh, well, we're sticking home. Why not?
So you did one again this year, and the
I
subhead
did.
like so if
The
you
article,
want,
yes,
yeah,
I did one.
If you want to read, there's a link to the article in the description for the cheapest Black Friday. The headline is I crafted the cheapest Black Friday gaming PC build again. Period. It's brutal this year. So that
It was.
You build a brutal
Holy
PC. It's like really
cow.
cool, like super performant.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And
It's
awesome.
like the lines are like,
yeah,
yeah. So yeah,
made of concrete.
Let's go through this because I have not looked. I was holding my reactions. But yeah,
were you?
So tell me what's in it, how you found these deals, what your thought process was.
Okay. Yeah, so for people who aren't familiar with it, I think most people, honestly, listening to the show probably have seen an incarnation of this at some point. This is actually my 10th year doing it.
Wow.
So it's my 9th anniversary, but my 10th year doing it. And the thought just came about because I was already going through all the deals, especially back in 2016 when I was the only person on staff handling deals coverage and, that kind of stuff. So I was just combing through like everything. And I hate turning down a good deal. And I thought, man, how cool would it be if you were looking to build a PC and you waited till this time of year because I'm seeing all these great deals. You could save probably easily anywhere from 100 to like 200, probably more, like if you really shop smart and depending on your, config. I'm going to do this as a thought experiment and then maybe hopefully someone can, use them as, either a template or actually buy it direct and they get to save the money and that'll make me happy. It's totally worth the effort I put into this, right? So like where I source the deals is a combination of places, right? So I'm relying, and I'll be, open about this. I'm relying on the crowdsourced work of others in general, right? So like everyone gets together on Slick Deals or Build a PC sales and, other deal sites. And I'm just like combing through all of it. So I'm not taking credit for finding the deals. What I'm doing is more of being the person who's filtering it for other people. That's my role in this, right? And some years has been so good. Like you get like an amazing case and power supply and like a really nice, processor. And like there are free games included with the graphics card. And it just feels like a really great system. And you kind of got away with like something maybe you quote shouldn't have, right? But it's all legit because it's Black Friday and like retailers are trying to get you to buy. That was not the case this year. So I start looking for these deals. I just kind of keep in the back of my head. You could say I cheat a little bit in that I cherry pick the best deals that I see over like the course of anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So unless you're actually doing it the same exercise with me, you may not get the exact bill that I'm doing. But in past year, I actually used to start listing the parts I was seeing on sale just so that people could buy. And I was like, and my boss was like, you got other things I need you to do. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's fine. I'll just do the article at the end.
Also, I mean, Black Friday is
yeah.
a season. So like,
yes,
yeah.
it is. And it is much more so now, right? But I started looking even in October because some years it's actually begun mid-October when the deals start getting good. Like sometimes the storage would start getting really good in October and during the years when storage was not, constrained for supply. Mm-hmm. No, this year it was one of those years where you're like, wow, where I was like, whoa. There's just not a lot out there, period. And then you have the normal like signal to noise kind of ratio on top of that. But there were still a handful of really good deals, but it was almost like the handful was so good. It really put into stark contrast just how scant the rest of it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So I was even surprised at first, when I went into it on Thanksgiving Day, when I was like, okay, I've got all my data. I'm going to see what I can actually put together with all this data. And I usually wait till Thanksgiving too, because I'm trying to see if there's any last minute deals that I can, put in there.
Like the actual Black Friday deals or something.
Yeah. So I can kind of like, I like to be able to say that I got the lowest number possible too for the exercise. Mm-hmm. So I'm like going through it. And at first I was like, man, do I even have enough to make an entire build? like even just one entire build. And then I was like, is it worth doing the exercise? I was like, no, I should do it because even if I can't put together a whole build with deals, it is still a good historical snapshot for what the climate is right now.
Well, and real quick, that's the thing I was thinking of too. I was like, man, it would actually be kind of fun to go back. I mean, you link them in the article, but to actually go back and look historically to be like, oh, wow, this year, what you got for that money was crazy. And then, the next year, you can track the ebbs and flows. I like that.
The last couple of years are pretty decent, actually. The last couple of years are actually pretty decent. So it kind of also the contrast makes it feel a little bit more disappointing, So I did the exercise and I actually started in reverse. So a quick history lesson. So when I first started doing this, I was like, let's see what's the cheapest I could go. Like literally the cheapest I could go and get it to game. And I know there's going to be compromises, but I want to see what my absolute baseline is with these deals. And
like
so for a while,
build.
there was... Yeah. Well, no, I actually ended up still like building out from there. And that's the thing. Like, so I would start there and then I would see what else I could do with it. So like there are years where like, if you look at the early years, I would say like, you could do this for $250 and you could, and it would be like a starter gaming PC for like a kid, or like you really were low on cash, but you needed to get started with something and you wanted to be able to upgrade from there. And it worked and it was fine. And I also suggested like upgrade versions too, because I didn't want people thinking like this is the only thing you could do with these deals. It was just more of like, here's your base, here's your like upgrade, here's your like, premium kind of thing. So I've always kind of done that. Some years I get a little bit more excited about it than others. And Brad's like, hey, it's a holiday weekend. Maybe you should actually just take some time off. And I'm like, I've got 4 builds this year.
But look how many cool builds.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the last 4 or 5 years, I've actually started at the middle because I was like, this is actually where most people would actually want to build, right? Like you want to just put down 500 and hopefully get a really nice, high entry to like maybe like low to mid level PC, right? If you can do that for 5 to 550, that's fantastic, right?
I mean, yeah, like I feel like for a long time that was like, oh, hey, that's a good solid build. Like,
yeah, it's a good solid build. Yeah. Like in 500 usually is kind of the spot where people often say like, this is like a decent entry level build.
I guess, usually where people kind of start.
Yeah. I started back at the bottom again this year, and now it's $500.
Yeah, a little over 500.
570 actually.
I mean,
yeah, it sucked.
It's bad out there, man.
It's bad. So like, let's go through this real quick, just so you understand the baseline we're talking about. So I started with $500. I said the $570 Black Friday starter gaming PC, aka ouch.
Ouch. The ouch PC.
It's an APU build. $570 gets you an APU build right now.
APUs are good, but for $500,
it's a good baseline system.
Yeah.
Like it's much more robust than the baseline, like the bottom tier baseline systems that I started with, in like 2017, 2018, which is also a reflection too of how good hardware has gotten, honestly, in my opinion. So the parts are CPU, Ryzen 5 8600G, motherboard, Gigabyte B650M, Gaming Plus, Wi-Fi. So it is a slightly nicer board. RAM, Team Group T-Force Vulkan DDR5 6000, 16 gigabytes.
2 8 sticks.
And I decided not to do a lower mega transfer rate because again, on these builds, I try to go for a build where it's like, hey, I want to set you up for success. I don't want you to feel like you cut corners that you're going to regret later. Or like, you're like, oh man, if I had just spent like 16 more bucks, it would have been fine. Like, I'm not trying to cut that deep.
Yeah. Especially for an APU. Say this in my
builds.
Like an APU, you like the transfer
it helps,
speed,
right?
It matters. Yeah, definitely.
Well, and the capacity
no discrete
too,
graphics card.
Video RAM from the system memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, no discrete graphics card. Storage is a 512 gigabyte drive. A power supply. It's a gold power supply for $50.
Yeah, 80 plus gold.
Watts.
Yeah. non-modular.
I mean,
but
it's
that's
80
okay.
plus, but everyone's kind of like, well, we're like moving to like cybernetics is like skill or instead of the
still.
plus system. But it's still a baseline sort of thing.
And 600 watts, so you can theoretically
You can
plug in a
upgrade down
GPU.
the road.
Yep.
It's going to still limit you a little bit, so you're still going to be stuck more in that like mid-range, like 60 class probably. But you
but
can
still.
at least put a discrete graphics card in there. And then a decent case-ish. Like
Let me look at this case. I haven't looked at it.
It's like got a tempered glass and a mesh front, and it comes with 4 ARGB fans for $40. And I was like, all right,
Yeah, that's a lot of
nice.
fans.
And then the operating system license, $10 through our like partnership with Stack Social. Like PCWorld has a Stack Social storefront. Came out to $569. So I didn't give the prices earlier for the CPU, motherboard, and all that. So the CPU is $189, motherboard, which was not really a deal, by the way. I was doing this kind of fast this year because I had so many other things on my plate. And normally I can kind of bleed into Black Friday, but this year I had a live blog, so I couldn't get quite as in-depth with my explanations as I normally do. So this was actually not really that much of a deal. And the price actually has gone up a little bit.
Ooh.
So this is market condition deal, quote, air quote deal.
Yeah. And none of these are bundles either, right?
This one was not.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is a very, as I put in my strap line, it is a very bundleful time of the year. So for when you go upgrading, the bundles
Elena,
really come into
no.
play.
Pun.
I rarely do puns, but I was happy with that one. The motherboard was actually a pretty good deal. And I think maybe as a reflection of the fact that they're probably not selling as much. I think I actually saw a report or something chatter in our staff chat about how this may be affecting sales. The RAM prices are affecting motherboard and probably CPU movement.
For everyone.
So,
yeah. Actually, it's not a bad board. Yeah, it's got 2
not a bad board.
NVMe slots.
It's not a bad board.
4 SATA slots.
It's actually lower than what I've seen sometimes for a Wi-Fi enabled board. Some of my builds in the past years, I've actually had to add in a dongle for people if they wanted Wi-Fi and say like, add another $15 to the build costs for this to accommodate for that.
Yeah.
The storage is where you can really start to see it hurting a bit because it's I wouldn't say low performance, but it's not as performant as some of the other options in previous years. It's 512 gigabytes for $40. And during Black Friday in previous years, you're getting like 1 terabyte. So
for 40.
Kind of depressing, man. It's just really depressing for me.
Yeah.
1 terabytes were hovering around like $80 this year. It's a lot more.
Yeah, it's you're not getting you're not saving anything by jumping up to the next size. It's literally just double.
You literally just
double the price for
doubling
double
it.
the
And before you could probably shave like $5 to $10 if you were doing more of like a quote bulk, buy of your storage capacity. Not so much the case now. So what happens if you want to go to 1080p gaming? We'll move on. I don't know if there's any questions really about an APU build, so I'm just going to move straight on. So what happens if you want to go to a 1080p build? Well, you're going to spend $900. You would have spent $900 this year, and you would have had to live near a micro center on top of that. So it wasn't even available to everybody.
Oh.
I mean, it was available to us, which was kind of nice. But
now it is. Yeah.
So this is relying on in-store deals from Micro Center.
Okay.
And even still, it's a little bit higher than I would, I'm used to seeing, would want to see, especially during Black Friday. So CPU, AMD Ryzen 5 7600X, $220. The cooler is this is not on sale either. I just grabbed one that I was like, okay, well reviewed, pretty budget though. It'll work with this, it's reported to work well with this particular processor, Thermalright Peerless Assassin 120 SE.
I'm honestly,
$35.
yeah, this is overkill for even that processor. So you could if you wanted to step up to an 8-core later, this
you could,
totally
or
be
you
fine,
could probably shave down to save another $15 and get a more budget version of the Thermalright Assassin's line. I decided again, I'm like, you know what? We'll put a little cushion in this because that's the whole point of saving money. It's not to always cut everything to the bone. It's so that you can enjoy the smaller luxuries in life at less. That's my philosophy. Motherboard is included with the CPU price, so $220 for both that and a B650E motherboard, which I thought was nice. Also Wi-Fi model.
I'm not familiar with this board.
Yeah. I didn't find many RAM bundles this year that I liked, so I actually ended up going again with the Team Group T-Force Vulkan DDR5 6000, 16 gigabyte kit again, so that's $130. Graphics card. So this one was actually one of the rare shining gems of a deal during Black Friday this year.
I saw a lot of chatter on these ones. Yeah.
So Walmart, and they actually even had it in stock again yesterday for a period.
Oh, really?
Like they've actually been metering it, which I think is actually a smart thing on Walmart's part because it doesn't feel so bad to have missed it if you think that you might have a chance at it again later, as opposed to it just like selling out in seconds and then that's it, right? Like you don't even have the hope. You don't even have the hope.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is an MSI Shadow GeForce RTX 5060 Ti 16 gigabyte card. $369 through Walmart.
Yeah. And it's
very respectable price.
I haven't seen this one in person. I've seen older Shadow ones, and I think this is almost a true 2-slot. Yeah, it looks like pretty much true 2-slot. Dual fan design, got a blow through on the back plate. Like this is a solid card. Yeah,
solid card. Very nice, especially right now with like what it looks like in that lower mid-range kind of place where it's like I was seeing deals at first in the first part of the month around that price, but it's 8 gigabyte cards, right? Mm-hmm. So you either have a 5060 Ti or a 9060 XT, but it would be like 8 gigabyte card models, which is like, it's all right, I guess.
This one feels like an actual
deal.
Yeah. I mean, the 16 gigs of RAM hurts a lot for Windows, especially Windows 11.
For the system RAM.
For the system RAM.
Last year, my builds had 32.
I mean, last year, 32 gigs was like, I bought a couple of spare kits just so I had some around because they were $70 each, right? For DDR5 6000. I feel like, okay. What's this case like too is the other question. Cause like this $40 with a 420 millimeter fans feels pretty good here.
So I haven't used this case myself specifically, but I have used, just to finish the build list real quick. So same Team Group T-Force G50, 512 gigabyte storage drive. Same Thermaltake GX2 80 plus gold, non-modular, 600 watt power supply. And then getting to the case, the same case that we mentioned earlier, which is what I haven't used this case myself, but it looks a lot like the Montec case that I did have in the office. So I'm thinking that like I was pretty happy with that at like, I think the list price for that was like $60 to $70. And it had similar features, glass side, mesh front, included ARGB fans. I'm like, honestly, given the cost of cases at this price range normally, even if it's not quite as like the steel isn't as thick, or the metal, I should say. I'm not sure if it's steel. Like if the aluminum is not as thick and you're a decently careful person when you're building or like moving it around, this should be fine for $40 and you get the fans. So why not? Decent deal.
Yeah, like this whole thing feels pretty good. Like this to your point, I think this feels like a machine you can really build on, right? Like you start here. That your $500 machine is a great Linux machine, by the way.
True.
Well, APU, 16 gigs of RAM, half a gig of storage, half a terabyte of storage. That's Linux City, right?
True.
Yeah.
Even 16 gigs of RAM is
16 gigs of RAM totally fine on Linux. Half a terabyte of storage also fine on Linux. Unless you're playing games.
And even if I remember correctly, that 7060M is closer to like a Steam Deck. So like you can play Steam Deck kind of games like 1080p.
Your Steam Deck mode is going to be great.
So
yeah,
I should have called it the cross your fingers Steam Machine DIY Steam Machine build. Honestly,
it's kind of
no Steam Machine definitely going to be more powerful.
More GPU cores probably, but like
this is only 8.
But if you had to DIY it yourself and want to do it on a budget, then
Well,
I actually
Yeah.
do wonder if we're going to see some of that next year. That's a discussion for later. But yeah, and just to address some people in chat, like they're saying like, oh, the power supply might be a little like slim for it. I always include build notes with my build lists. And I also always mention potential upgrades, right? So my build list and notes do say like, hey, so the graphics card isn't always available. So if you can't get it and you don't mind dropping down in performance, dropping your frame rates a little bit, there's a $260, ASRock Intel B580 12GB card that you get instead. If you want to up your storage, here's a Crucial drive that you could upgrade to for 80. And then the power supply, yes, you are kind of skirting the probably recommended limit for it. So here is a $60, option instead, that it's a 750-watt power supply, also gold rated. So I do keep those things in mind so that people have options. And it's actually really fun for me, side tangent. It's really fun for me when people actually reach out to me and say, hey, I actually built something based on your article. Here's what it looks like. Here are the parts I ended up getting. I'm like, ooh, what's this variation? That's fun.
one of the things, like this machine is, I saw there was chatter in multiple discords for me for people who wanted to build a futzing around machine, either for a like plug into your TV streaming / light games / I assume front end for your video watching and all that stuff too. The Linux machine is another one. The kids machine, like I think this is a good starting point for all three of those.
Well, and even though this is a 5060 Ti, I mean, it's got the 16 gigs of VRAM. I went back and looked at the testing I had done, and I mean, we're talking about at 1080p, you're still getting high refresh rate. Like it's either like in my mind, you're looking at 1080p, high refresh rate, maybe 120. If you're stepping up to 1440p, depending on how you like to configure stuff, it's still going to probably get you over 60. Like so
in almost everything you play, especially if you're willing to futz with some options.
Yeah, so I don't hate this build at all.
The problem with this build is not the list. Yes,
it is the price, because this would be like a perfect
$900.
Yeah, this would be a perfect like 700. Like
last year, this build would have been around 550 to 600 probably. I probably could have I probably would have shaved it down a little bit more. I would probably have used like the B 580, as the graphics card and all that. But one of the things I did mention in my notes as well that I specifically said, I was like, hey, normally I shave this a little closer to the bone. Not like I still leave some fat on, right? But I don't leave quite so much fat on as I did this time. The reason I did this time is because when I was looking at what I could do for $600 to $700, it felt bad, man. Like my options felt so bad. And with the predictions for next year, so in combination with that, predictions for next year about prices going up and supply might be difficult, I'm thinking, well, you may as well insulate yourself partially from that and just go with a much more fattier build, so to speak, right? Where you're basically storing fat for the winter.
In a world where 32 gigs of DDR5 are selling for $350 or $400, I think you did pretty well for a $900 build.
Yeah. I mean, it's
just so depressing.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the RAM thing, like the RAM is like probably the bottleneck here. Like, yeah, you wish you could step up to 32. Or maybe
too, honestly.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you play though. Like if you're somebody who just plays
do the storage easily.
Yeah, storage. Yeah. I mean, because this does have, if I remember correctly, slots. I think it had 3 slots that you could plug into. I mean, the power supply, yes, maybe you want something a little bit bigger that you can, if you wanted to step up, to step up to a bigger GPU later. But I mean, like this is still I love when you do this, and that, like, I really wish every year we could just buy these parts, because like I would love to get it in and just be like, how does this feel to play on? Because in my mind, like it's like, wow, this probably does feel pretty good. Like maybe the system RAM stuff, you're gonna feel some bottlenecks here and there depending on what you're gonna use it for. Like, but if it's just pure gaming and you cut a lot of the bullet stuff, like
16 gigs will be okay. But if you're using this for all of your stuff, I think it'd be a problem. Like I do think that my current system that I'm on right now, that I'm actually, doing this Zoom call on, or whatever this thing is, the video call, this has 32 gigs in it. and I've noticed it spiking like into the 85 to 90%. And I'm just like, what is going on? I'm going to reformat just to see if it's some weird like thing I've got like lingering on my system. But man, Windows 11, I feel like just does not use RAM as efficiently.
Weird.
And it's not great.
Well, I think, I mean, at 16 gigs, I think you close your browser when you launch a game. You know what I mean? I don't think you're not plugging in that second monitor. You're not keeping like your social media, your TikTok or whatever running in the background. You're closing all that stuff down and then you launch the game.
You
That's
have
the
to.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shall we go over the final one?
Real quick, Ruruchu, friend of the show, Ruruchu says, the most important thing, how do you think this build would compare to the Steam machine? I mean, looking at just specs alone, obviously we don't know pure performance for the Steam machine. And it's a little apples to oranges because it's Linux versus Windows
And NVIDIA versus
AMD, but like I think this 5060 Ti is going to
absolutely
definitely
going
be
to
a step up over the
much
Steam
stronger.
machine. Yeah.
Because wasn't it estimated? Didn't Steve say something like kind of roughly equivalent? I forgot who said it. It was like roughly equivalent to maybe like a like 7060.
It's
like 7600 XT, or not even XT. I think maybe like non XT version.
Mobile. It's 7600 mobile is essentially
So like I think this graphics card, that's the thing too. Like we're going to obviously have this conversation when the Steam machine actually launches with a price and all of that. And Adam and I were talking about this either on a previous show or offline, where it's just that you can never do a one-to-one comparison when you do these console style DIY PC builds. It's just, you
People
never
will,
get the same thing. That's just not how it works. The whole point of doing that exercise is to put down the baseline for what you get at the similar price, or like, so either you do it in terms of spec comparison or price comparison, just so you can kind of see like, oh, okay, if you went DIY PC, you get this for that price, or you could save X amount by matching the specs. But again, of course, the trade-off is you have to source the parts yourself, you have to maintenance it and service it yourself, et cetera, et cetera. That's the whole point of that exercise.
And
never
it's
like
not as plug and play. Like you have to install the OS, you have to manage it,
It's never like my dog is, better than your dog in this fight, objectively. It's more like for this particular scenario. So to round out the builds, and all of them felt a little sad to me because, so the first one was a APU build for $500, which felt kind of bad. The second one was a decent build for $900, which the price tag doesn't feel great, and it's limited to Micro Center people who live near Micro Center or are willing to drive. Let's put it this way: who are willing to drive X amount of hours, whatever that number is, to a Micro Center.
If you're lucky,
if you're lucky enough. And then the final one, again, I called it the $830 sold out 1080p Black Friday gaming PC build.
This one's a little weird though. Like, so it's cheaper. Like usually you have 3 tiers and it goes from, the price increases. This price actually goes down a little bit.
It does, because I wasn't looking to go to 1440. I just was, this year, normally I do.
It's the same card though.
Normally I do a 1080p, I do a 1440p build, and I do the baseline build. That's what I've been doing the last maybe 4 to 5 years. And this year I was just doing literally a temperature read. So I was just looking, okay, if I'm going in with kind of a more entry level to very maybe lower mid tier approach, what am I getting for that price? Mm-hmm. And so this is the final kind of pillar in that triangulation, which is,
and this doesn't include going to Micro Center. Right.
And this doesn't include because I wanted to see every scenario. Like, what happens if you try to build for a basic kid or living room PC build, right? What happens if you're just trying to go for a, what used to be a $500 to $550, maybe $600 build during Black Friday at Micro Center? What do you get if you do that if you don't live near Micro Center? To me, those are the basic pillars. Mm-hmm. Anything beyond that, like 1440p, 4K gaming kind of stuff, that was me just being extra. So this non-Micro Center build, it is also based on a bundle. And this one was through Newegg, but it didn't last very long. Yeah. And this actually was really good because it is a AMD Ryzen 5 9600X.
Yeah, so you're stepping up.
Bundled with a CPU cooler. So that's the Be Quiet Pure Rock Pro 3, decent cooler.
Yeah, dual tower.
And then a Asus B650E Wi-Fi motherboard. So again, you have PCIe 5 support on that, right? Because that's only the extreme quote boards that had that for the 600 series chipsets.
And it looks like
All
still
that bundled
three M.2
together.
slots. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I forgot. There was also RAM bundled in too. Like, holy crap,
wow.
the RAM was bundled in too. So the RAM was the same Team Force. Sorry, I keep doing this. Team Group T-Force Vulcan DDR5 6000 mega transfer 16 gigabyte kit. So 2 sticks of 8 gigs, right? And because this was through Newegg, who was selling this RAM this whole time, and that's where this RAM came from for the other build, they just put all of this together in a bundle for $324.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's
For the current times, that's really, really good. And even for previous years, that would have been pretty solid too, because you're getting the most current AMD CPU. You're not having to go. So the last build at Micro Center is a generation back already.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-year-old CPU. Yeah, and then you just pair it with that. If you got lucky enough at Walmart, you pair it with the 5060 Ti, 16 gig card, 512 gigabyte storage drive. If you want, you can upgrade that if you want. You could, I put in that 600 watt power supply again, another $10. You can upgrade to 750 watts. Same case for $40. And again, the $10 Windows 11 Pro license came to $833.
See, this feels better. Like this feels like a better
Feels
deal
much
than
better.
even the other one. Like I know we're only
This feels
saving
much
like what $50 or $60 total, but still like
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
It feels better because the CPU.
you're getting the newer CPU. Yeah, like the motherboard. Like I don't know the specs specifically, but it doesn't look like it's a downgraded
Yeah.
motherboard.
This basically, if you live in a state with sales tax, this actually is a true $900 build, right? So
And-
this actually comes out to $900.
And once again,
after
like
tax.
this is high refresh rate 1080p or like a good solid 1440p card.
Yeah, so
too.
it's a nice machine. And this probably would have been maybe my entry level 1440p suggested build in previous years. But again, because everything in this like between the APU build to this just feels kind of sad corner cutting, I didn't bother with it.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, you're talking about like like a $300 bump up from the APU build, the low end APU build to this one. Like you're getting a lot for that $300.
But you get a lot for that.
Yeah,
So to me, that is the whole point of this Black Friday exercise as well. Especially as I've like kind of progressed in my approach to it over the years. It's no longer just about trying to cut as deep as you can. It's about how can you make a really good experience for yourself to be like really happy with your build while saving hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Hopefully hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Not so much now.
But like you said, unfortunately, it's also predicated on a deal that went real quick. So.
I mean, that is how it goes some
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
but it feels especially a little bit. I did put that in there. It's like, I'm not saying this as a gotcha, but it feels more like that this year because it is just so rare and given the context of all the other available deals.
I mean, I will say, luckily, it's not a bundle that doesn't make sense. Because I mean, like especially during the pandemic days, sometimes we would see those Newegg bundles that would just be like, this bundle makes no sense at all. Like
You're like, so here's some random stuff with your graphics card. And you're like, great.
yeah,
I guess it's good that I'm getting something with the graphics card instead of just paying for the graphics card at this inflated price. But
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this.
so
Elena, did you mostly shop online for these deals? For Black Friday?
Yes. So when I do these, I don't really have the energy or the time to do any like local shopping, right? So in the Bay Area, we have Central Computer, which is an amazing chain. I love those folks over there. They are great. If you live in the Bay Area, or if you're the kind of person that when you travel, you like to hit up stores relevant to your interests, Central is really worth checking out. They have great customer service. I've always said this, and I hate to have to say it, but it is a thing. My litmus test is when I walk into a store like that, if they treat me like everybody else, no matter like the fact that I look like a woman, right? If they treat me like everybody else, and if I say the right words, and they're like, okay, I understand your level of expertise or your knowledge, I will meet you there. That's all I want from a store, and they always have done that, and I love that.
yep.
I mean,
Did not.
no, fries was bad for everybody, but
a lot of
especially
reasons.
bad for
Yeah.
other people. The Central thing, Central went kind of viral last week or the week before. A friend of the show, Steve
Yeah.
Lynn.
What?
Yeah, friend of the show, Steve Lynn, went
Yeah.
to Central and took a picture of the sign there that said,
Oh, the bundle. Oh, yeah.
"Hey,
Not the bundle. No. It was
I'm
it was
pulling it up.
market pricing.
Yeah.
They went to market pricing for their RAM because it's fluctuating so much. So basically, as Mike Kreider put it, our colleague Mike Kreider, who's been on the show before, he's very witty. He said basically you're going to be shopping for RAM now, like when you order lobster off a menu.
Yeah, the sign literally said, important notice, temporary pricing changes on RAM due to a global shortage of memory chips. RAM and related components have recently increased in price by 20 to 50%. Costs are fluctuating daily as manufacturers and distributors adjust to limited supply and high demand. Because of this, we can't display fixed prices on certain products at this time. We apologize for any inconvenience and appreciate your understanding while the market stabilizes. If you have questions or want current pricing on any item, our team is happy to help.
You go up and ask the team, hey, what's the price for this stick? And he's like, which way's the wind blowing?
Right?
Yeah. Let me ask
Yeah.
Steve, the ram fisherman out here, how many rams we got today?
Yeah.
I know. It's like, oh, is it crabbing season? How much is Dungeness crab going to be right now?
Man, I wish I had some Dungeness crab right now.
Yeah, actually, that would be good.
I was also curious about the because folks in the chat were asking about Micro Center. So did you guys see any deals at Micro Center, especially the location near us in the Bay?
I didn't go down there. Now that I can do all my shopping online during Black Friday, I haven't been out to a store on Black Friday in maybe almost a decade at this point because I just don't want to deal with the crowds anymore. And to be frank, it's the United States. People aren't particularly well, and there was a shooting at Valley Fair on Black Friday. So,
That was tragic.
yeah, Valley Fair is a mall down in the South Bay, San Jose area.
But one of her builds was predicated on a Micro
on
Center
Micro
bundle.
Center.
Yeah,
So it is relying on that. So the thing is, the nice thing about Micro Center, if you live near one, you can actually do in-store pickup, right? So you can order online. You can see, they actually list the stock available. So you can see that they have like 25 left or, 10 left. And you can order it and then just go to the store and then pick it up and then just leave. So you don't have to really deal with the crowds. So that's why I feel comfortable still sourcing Micro Center. They did have other bundles. I actually went through their bundles for a while. Some of them did offer RAM with it, where it wasn't included, but they gave you kind of a quote discounted price, like maybe $15 off the going price at the time. I didn't particularly like their configuration because they were offering 16 gigs as a single DIMM stick, and single DIMM. So I didn't. I was like, I don't think that's worth it to me. I'd rather put in a 2 DIMM kit and not have to lose the dual channel performance. And I'll pay for this build. I will add in the extra $15 for that.
Or do you buy
That's what I mean
two-
by not shaving it so bad, right? Like these are decisions I'm making when I put the list together, because I'm trying to balance performance and a good experience down the road with the deals that I'm seeing.
Also, I do like, were there, I mean, the answer is probably no, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Were there any deals on like just bare 16 gig sticks? Like, would it be okay to be like, I'm going to get the bundle that has the single stick, and then I can still find a better deal?
I would
on
have
a
done that in
single?
the past.
Yeah.
I would have done that in the past. I know that for some people that's like considered heretical to combine RAM from different manufacturers or different timings and whatnot. I think actually Will, who is casually browsing on his laptop, is one of those people who's made sounds of horror when I've mentioned this. I think him and Brad. So I would not be against it if that's a thing that you had to do or wanted to do to save money, but there wasn't even really the option this year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
It wasn't really particularly great.
I feel like this is a year where you do, like, if you need a computer, you buy it, you do whatever you have to do to survive, and we sort out the compromises next year, right?
We sort out the judgment later.
Yeah, it's bad.
Another question I have: did you see any deals on AM4? Could somebody have been like, you know what? I'm going to go
I did.
Ryzen 5000 and maybe save some money that
I
way?
did.
Okay.
I did. But the only one that really stood out to me, kind of looking a bit at the prices, and there was a 5500 bundle. So was it Ryzen 5? I think that's still considered a 5 level, 5500. So AM4 chip. But I didn't like that chip because I think, was it like the PCI lanes are restricted, if I remember right? There's something it doesn't support, or it doesn't support, like, I think it's PCIe 3 only. I forget what it was. And I didn't really, that's what I mean about making these trade-offs where I'm like, well, if you're going to pair it with a modern graphics card down the road, maybe, I don't know. Even if you were buying used, a lot of those cards are like the PCIe 3 cards are just kind of dinosaurs now. You wouldn't be buying that era, in my opinion. So I just felt like it was too much of a restriction and I didn't go with that. That was actually the first thing I started kind of building out as a potential template. And then I was like, no, I don't like this at all. I don't like what I'm seeing. It wasn't even that you could build it for like, oh, I'm going to build this and only hold it for like 2 years, maybe 3, because it just has to tide me over. But with all the other potential parts I could pair it with, it didn't seem to make sense to me, which is why we ended up with that 8600G APU build. I thought that was a little more forward facing.
I joked about this last week about doing a DDR4 build for the price of 32 gigs of DDR5. And when I walked down the path, the problem was motherboards. Like you could get you could find, let's say unboxed Zen 4 or Zen 3, I guess, CPUs. But the problem, I couldn't find motherboards that were, new AM4 motherboards were challenging that were like that had the features I would want in a board I was going to recommend.
I saw some deals on AM4 motherboards, which I thought was interesting, and they weren't bad. I mean, they were more, low end versions. This bundle included a motherboard that was, decent, but to me, it was the CPU that was kind of letting down the whole idea of it, just because.
Yeah, the CPU
here's the
is
thing.
anemic.
Yeah, because like that's still a generation where you need, unless it's a APU part, you need a graphics card. So you can't even use it as like a basic living room thing or like a productivity machine. If somebody, needs more than, I don't know, honestly, mini PCs have taken over that low end, in my opinion. It's not even worth doing a DIY build anymore because mini PCs have gotten so good.
Actually, on that point, real quick, were there any mini PC deals that you saw out there?
There were a lot. I didn't cover that this year just because I was so in the trenches with like my other areas of coverage, the live blog, and then wanting to do this. And Brad is a cool enough boss that instead of like just making me do all the things that were, really necessary for the core business for our plans this year, he let me still have some time. So, I mean, ostensibly, I think that time was supposed to be for having friends and family time and eating food, but I used it for putting together this article.
Well, I just want to, that first build, that 8600G build, the thing I really like about it is you're not spending money on things that you're just buying to replace later. Like that APU gives you that, hey, here's a thing that you can start with. The CPU is going to be good for a long time, and when you're ready to chuck a video card in there, that slot's going to be ready and waiting. And like I think that's the one I like out of all three of these best. If I'm
Really?
being real, yeah. Like I wish it had more RAM. That's it's hard to recommend 16
more
gigs
RAM
for Windows
too.
on an APU. But I mean, I don't know, but is it worth paying another $200 to get 32 gigs of RAM? No.
Dude, I saw the most depressing headline when I was working on Black Friday stuff last week. So shout out to Tom's Hardware for this headline. And it was something like, you'll pay more than the cost of a PlayStation 5 for 64 gigabytes of RAM right now.
Good God.
I know.
Yeah. I am looking, so there is a roundup, the best Cyber Monday and Black Friday mini PC deals of 2025 is Gabrielle on our staff. I'm looking at some of the options here.
Beast.
Yeah, Gabby's awesome. There are some options here that it's like, okay, if you want to go the mini PC route and maybe like you're not interested in building or piecing stuff out, actually some of these are not too bad. Yeah. Like in some of them, you actually get 32 gigs of RAM.
They're pretty decent.
You're going to need it for APU.
The pricing on a mini PC is, if you buy a complete build, is going to go up. They did say that, they are not immune to the RAM issue or pricing issues as well. But the bare bone kits, I think will probably hold stable for a while longer. So if you happen to be lucky enough to have RAM that's compatible and you just want a system upgrade, then you could just basically wholesale replace whatever mini PC you've got now. Or let's say you have a laptop that's aging, but you see a good deal on a mini PC that still uses like DDR4 RAM. So if you have soldered RAM in your laptop, you could just basically scrap it for parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the one that kind of points out to me that I'm kind of looking at, and which I think is comparable to kind of your build, but obviously it's a mini PC, so like the things you can upgrade it are not are finite. But yeah, there's this Geekong A9. So it's a 8945 HS, so like a higher end laptop mobile part, 32 gigs of DDR5, 2 terabyte SSD, and the iGPU is 780M. It's actually a little bit of a step up from the 8600G, and it's 680. So $100 more. Obviously, you don't get the upgradability in the same way, all that. Yeah. You're fixed in it. You do get a little bit of performance for it, and I mean probably. Not only more on the GPU, you get more storage, but also twice the RAM. So like if you're looking for a more simple thing, like that's actually doesn't feel that bad for a mini PC.
It's nice. this is a little bit of a side tangent. I am really excited that mini PCs have taken off. I've always been a fan of them. I have a very non-zero number of them at my desk for work, and I think that But do you guys remember when, all-in-ones were the big craze? I think in part due to the whole like iMac influence.
People love the iMac.
And I just always remember thinking like, yeah, it's kind of a nice idea, but it's just a crap idea. It's a crap thing for like upgradability down the road. Because even something basic like your RAM and your storage, it was hard to get into a lot of these all-in-ones. And I remember Dell showed us one once where the whole selling point was that you could open up the back easily. And that was a big deal. But they were very expensive, right? Because you had the monitor included and all that. And I was like, man, I just really hope mini PCs take off because it is trivial to mount a mini PC to the back of a monitor. Then you basically get the benefit of an all-in-one without the cables and stuff, visible cables, and you can upgrade it. You don't have to sacrifice the monitor along with everything else. You can buy yourself a good monitor, hold it for the normal time that most people do, which is like 10 to 15 years or more. And then you can just replace that PC as you need to, or put more RAM, or back in the old days, put more RAM, put more storage in there. And it's great. So mini PCs, definitely where it's at.
Well, what we need is mini PCs that dock into monitors. Just like a little, you just slot it into place.
They have like a little like plastic cutout for them.
Yeah.
But then it'd be proprietary. Then you can't it's harder to upgrade down the road.
No, I'm just saying it needs to be a standard for where the ports go on the back of the mini PC. Actually, and you just chunk that thing in there.
Yeah, there was this kind of
Anyway. You're proposing back connector style mini PCs.
Look, HEX
actually, there was one we do have that had a weird docking situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other deal I want to point out here, there was an Ace Magic S3A. So this is the 8745 HS. So one step down of the previous one we were just talking about. 16 gigabytes of RAM, so 512, so it's pretty similar, but still the Radeon 7080M, which is equivalent to like a Z1 Extreme. So this is essentially like a modern handheld 1080p gaming solid. This one clocked in at $430. Like, yes, you can't upgrade it like as much. I mean, I don't know specifically this model like what is upgradable, but man.
That looks like a router too. It's cool looking.
It's just interesting looking.
Here's the thing about mini PCs. They're just basically headless laptops, right? So you're just basically choosing a laptop that you're not planning. I mean, this one's a little bit bigger. This Ace Magician one is like a little bit chunkier, kind of cute in its own way. But you're basically going for a streamlined thing. You don't plan to go outside with it much, so you don't really need it for traveling. And then you can do all your stuff on your bigger monitor, and it works out well. If you need a laptop, then you need a laptop.
So this does look like it has SODIMM, so potentially you could upgrade it later if prices change. Yeah. And it looks like only one storage slot. So, but yeah, you can. It looks like it's a 2280.
That's good.
NVMe SSD to upgrade. I mean, so for $430, this gets you like a handheld kind of gaming experience. So a step up from a Steam
Very
Deck,
nice.
more like an ROG Ally kind of performance-ish.
Yeah.
Like that's a good starter PC too.
I still think that if I was going for a gaming PC style, though, I would probably end up building the APU one in the Black Friday deals thing, just because, like I think Will said, like I like knowing that I have the upgradability down the road.
For sure. Yeah.
But yeah, you can basically
stuff,
get a laptop similar to a laptop, an older laptop, Ryzen 7000 U series, but like $256. Includes 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage. Can support up to three 4K monitors for productivity. So you don't really need to spend that much for basic productivity anymore, which I like. So that's why over time. That's why over time my build lists for Black Friday have drifted very quickly towards just gaming rather than productivity, because productivity started getting covered in such a way that wasn't really necessary for me to say like, hey, if you need to build like a $200 machine for your kid to do their homework, here you go. It's like not really that necessary, and you don't have to spend all the time sourcing and building it if you're not someone who enjoys doing that.
Get them a Raspberry Pi. A little
Raspberry
portable
Pi 5
monitor,
is pretty baller.
Yeah, keyboard and mouse, and they're good to go.
There you go. Boom. Speaking of good to go, let's move over to the next
we went
segment.
a long time on this.
Yeah. I mean, hey, it's good.
Thanks.
I love that you do it.
It's really fun.
Continue to do it, please. Are you going to be?
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, yeah.
I reached my milestone and I was like, I've done 10.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Make it
This
20.
could be a good stopping
There you
point.
go. Nah, don't do that. I mean, like, I really do want to, like, maybe we'll talk to the bosses and be like, hey, can we actually buy these? Because I think that would be fun follow-ups to be like,
Do you want
hey,
to do it again?
Yeah. Like,
Do it in a year where the getting is good, though, so it
True,
feels more
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, true. Anyway, speaking getting of good, hopefully, we've got CES 2026 knocking on the door. Like right around the corner.
Look,
like will you answer that door?
Do I have to?
Oh no,
CES is going to happen without you. So
Yeah. Okay. So I guess
Either way.
I guess I'll answer the door. I want the big question I have is: are they going to say AI more or less than last year? That's
More.
really
Don't play a drinking game, you'll die.
Yeah.
no. I'm not. I learned my lesson last year. It's a bad idea. Don't drinking game the AI game.
Actually, no. I'll take that back. More. I think it'll be about the same as it was last year
You think
because it was a lot.
You think last year was peak? Like there were a couple of keynotes I watched that like every third word was AI.
Yeah, I think it'll be about the same.
Okay.
Like I don't think we're past that. I don't think it'll be more. People in the chat seem to disagree.
People
but
in chat
we'll see.
think 27% more is what Agent Birdnest said.
Yeah. Anyway, there was an article over on videocards.com. There's a link in the description about CES 2026 expectations. So this is a mixture of like expectations, and I think we kind of we should put our own commentary on this. It is a good article. You should check it out. But so it's a mixture of expectations. And I don't want to turn this into a predictions episode because we will have that in a couple weeks. But I think there are some credible leaks. There are some things that we would love to see, but also at this point, like I think it's like the writings on the wall, if you will, like just with everything that's going on, AI still booming, and the shortages of RAM and stuff like that. Like the tariff stuff is still up in the air.
I mean. Look, we know there's gonna be Phantom Lake laptops.
No,
Panther Lake.
Panther
laptops.
Lake. I don't know. You keep saying.
I love Phantom Lake.
Yeah.
Look, man,
not
Phantom
here
Lake.
yet.
Nancy
Yeah.
Drew rules. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Panther Lake
The
laptops.
mystery of Phantom Lake.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, I think that's going to be the biggest thing. There is, hey, I mean, and this is, I mean, Intel has said this. Hey, Panther Lake, which will probably be the Core Ultra Series 3.
Yeah.
If they're going to continue that
broken
same
that naming
nomenclature
scheme already.
Yeah, we'll see.
Good job, guys.
And so yeah, I think this will just be like, hey, you know what? This is the big refresh year for Intel, and so all the major manufacturers are going to be coming out with new Panther Lake based laptops, with already on market NVIDIA GPUs. So this is just, kind of like a CPU refresh. Maybe some of the manufacturers will use this as a time to refresh some of their their lines, or maybe it's like, let's have a new design aesthetic or something like that. So it is going to be laptop based though, for sure.
The big question for me, and you guys might know this better than I do, but the laptop vendors presumably bought the RAM allocations for these laptops that they're shipping with Panther Lake and whatever else is coming like months ago before the prices went up. So we should see these come out not at elevated prices, right?
Well, so Intel has clearly flagged that Panther Lake is going to be the big star of CES, but I don't have at least a sense. I don't know if you do, Elena, of like when these things will actually ship.
Oh, these could be like dads and grad season. They could announce them now and they ship.
Well,
them
no,
summer?
I don't think it'll be that long.
Okay,
but like in the past, like we've definitely seen.
It starts trickling sooner than that. Like we do get some that are closer to grads and dads season, but there are definitely manufacturers who start already like in February.
Okay,
or I'm thinking like last year we had Alder Lake and Lunar Lake, right? And we got Alder Lake laptops before we got Lunar Lake. Yeah. So I don't know the timing.
Okay.
And obviously this is a big deal for Intel, so I'm sure they have the allocation for stuff, but like how that's going to affect with the RAM stuff, I don't know. So we could literally walk into a scenario where we get all these laptops announced with Panther Lake and people are excited, and then the store shelves are just empty. It's paper launch or whatever, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Toilet paper launch is what we used to call it.
Or what if hey, this is a place where the people that have the non-soldered on RAM have a real advantage, right? Because they can sell they can sell a blank laptop, no RAM, and let you choose your own RAM adventure. Do you want a usable amount of RAM for Windows 11? That's another $400.
Oh, I don't know if we've seen that before.
What is with you, Will? That is just some dystopian.
Look, we're through.
That is a dystopian outlook, sir.
Elena, we're through the looking glass here, man. We
No,
who knows what's going to happen next?
I don't want to be in the mirror universe.
Look, it's everything's upside down. There's skin people coming at us. I don't know what's going on anymore, man. I watched Stranger Things this weekend. It was a lot.
That would be kind of
spoilers.
That would actually be kind of interesting though, like because it's pretty common on mini PCs to be able to get bare bones kits, to be like, hey, you know what you're getting is the the actual processing power, the motherboard, the thing, but then you bring your own
RAM.
Like, what if that's a new trend we start seeing? Laptops like shipping.
No, that would be awful.
Bare bones.
I feel like even mini PCs have swung towards being more like laptops, though. I think that's how they picked up in popularity, though, because when they were more bare bones kits, it felt more of a enthusiast, like geeky nerd person thing to do. But if somebody tells you, like, hey, you can buy a complete system for $250 and it just works and it's small and it won't take a bunch of space on your desk, people are like, sure, I'll do that.
Well, that was before this situation, though.
At the same time, like I definitely like laptops that you can change the RAM out if you want, and the RAM and SSD aren't soldered onto the motherboard. Like those are both good things.
Yeah. So I do think that's going to be the star of the show. From AMD, like I don't know how much they're going to lean into next gen laptop parts. Obviously, Qualcomm has already talked about the X2 Elite. I'm sure they will talk more about it there, but I doubt like it's going to be like a huge thing. Like I really and NVIDIA laptop parts are probably just going to be the same. I don't think there's going to be a refresh or anything like that. So I think for laptop stuff, it's Intel's going to have the biggest slice of the pie there. For desktop stuff though, that's where things I think are going to be even more anemic. On the NVIDIA side, like there was rumors of a super refresh. Me personally, I never fully believed that. I felt like it was still a little too early for a super refresh. But especially now, it seems like the rumors have backed off and been like, actually, no super refresh at CES.
Well, here's the thing. I think that it's always going to be also a response to market conditions as well, right? So maybe the idea got floated, but given how things have changed, I can't see it being, how do I put this? Well, if someone can't build a complete system easily, or they're pulling back because of economic factors, and you're making money hand over fist to infinity on enterprise side, there's not a lot of, I think, incentive to really put something new out for consumers just yet.
With the data center growth that NVIDIA is seeing, they're reaching a point where every time they sell a GPU to consumers, they're losing money. right? Like I think that's the grim future we're looking at here.
And there's still plenty of stock. Like now RTX 50 series discrete GPUs are finally like hitting some sort of like normalcy, quote unquote normalcy. And like, usually I feel like what we see before these things is like we start seeing signals of like, oh wow, stock is drying up. I don't think I've seen any of those signals.
The stock hasn't dried up at all. In fact, if anything, there's cards readily available now. When I was at Micro Center the other day, I saw a buttload of cards.
Okay.
I'm not going into any retail establishments for the next 30 days, but I think we're in a situation where if NVIDIA has wafer allocation on TSMC 4 nanometer or whatever they're putting all of these GPUs on, it makes sense for them to put them on the thing that they can sell to OpenAI and Anthropic and Microsoft, not to us. So,
well, maybe Intel discrete. Do you think we'll see Celestial? Do you think we'll see a high-end Battle Mage?
I would love to. That sounds great.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good time, right?
Look, more competition, always good.
Yeah. Yeah, and then on the AMD side, I haven't seen any rumors specifically of like any refresh GPUs or higher end. Maybe we'll finally see the 9080 XT, the highest end RDNA 4. So like I think for GPUs it's gonna be pretty non-existent. I don't expect anything there.
Think, unfortunately, so we haven't really gotten deep into this yet, but just to jump a little bit, like my feelings around CES and even into 2026, like possibly for Computex 2026, I feel like it's going to be a slow or at least sleepy year, just because there's not a lot to compel these companies to really push on innovation outside. I mean, for a business reason, right? Like I'm sure their engineers are people who are very excited to try to push the needle forward, right? Like to move things ahead. But I think the market conditions and the business concerns are going to put a huge damper on that. And it's going to be a bit in lockstep too. I think it's going to unfortunately be a cycle, right? Where it's like, well, if businesses aren't putting out things to make consumers excited, they're not going to be spending, but consumers are also kind of hesitant because of the overall economic factors that are influencing everybody. So it's just going to be kind of this thing where everybody's just a little bit hesitant. And yeah, I'm kind of sad for what that might mean for innovation for the coming year.
Yeah. And then, on the CPU side, I think it's going to be slow as well. Like there's been not only a ton of rumors, but I have another link in the description to a 9850 X3D leak. I wouldn't even call this a leak. I know Brad's pretty, he's anti-leak stuff,
leaks. But
essentially this popped up on a driver support page for AMD. So when it comes to leaks, I would call that one pretty credible. Like I saw a lot of articles or headlines out there being like, oh, AMD confirms 9850 X3D. They haven't come out and talked about it. It was just more like, oh crap, why did you put that in the driver update? Why'd you do that? So like I think that one will be there, like, to kind of be the placeholder for oh hey, sure, we don't have the next generation of whatever Ryzen 10,000, or maybe they reset the number or something. But I think these would be like, hey, you know what? We set aside on the line the really golden samples of X3D parts. So this seems to be like you want the best of the best 8-core 9800 X3D, then get this one.
And it does make a little sense to me too, because I think what we are seeing, at least in the past, economic downturns so far in more recent history, is that those with means are a bit more cushioned from it. So they would be able to afford to upgrade to this or go for it. And they probably don't care as much about the rest of the market conditions.
Yeah.
The other chatter that I've seen people talk about is that maybe this is AMD's sneaky way of price adjusting that Ryzen 7 X3D part, because I mean they've never done this before. This probably will come out with a price premium, and does that then anchor the price for the next 8-core X3D part in the future, right? Like they'll base the price off that one rather than the original 9800 X3D. I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen any solid rumors enough to be like, oh, this is going to be the price. But you would expect if they're making it a whole new SKU, there's probably going to be a price change. So,
well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah.
I really wish that they would do more a solid 4K GPU with RDNA 4 architecture.
9070 XT.
It's fine.
It's pretty solid.
It's pretty solid.
I'd call it pretty
it's
solid.
Fine.
Yeah. I have a project coming up that we'll talk about.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, I mean, Intel, like, I think they will talk about Nova Lake, but I don't think we're anywhere close to Nova Lake launch. Like,
So here's the thing, right? Like, just one of the reasons why I think we're looking at a slowdown is because we are already seeing that this year. I wouldn't say historically, but let's say reliably in the last, 5 to 8 years, we have seen annual chip refreshes. Normally in September, October, you and or Will have been, and Gordon, when he was still with us, were like deep in the trenches benchmarking, and nothing this year. Nothing.
Yes. Yeah. Usually there's a stack of products by the end of the year that I'm just like, crap.
How are we going to get through all of
how
this?
do we? Oh man! And then some of them just you don't get. This year, I was like, the last thing I got that has any sort of like embargo on it was that trackball. And I'm like, like other than that, it's just like, oh, okay, wow. Like,
that thing felt really good.
That's really good. Yeah,
Good
hopefully
feel.
do a video.
Wait, were
soon.
you showing us secret things? Breaking your embargo?
No. Like there's no embargo. It's just more like, oh, hey, the release date is actually this month. But yeah, no. We do have a question from friend of the show, Liquid R. Where's that 9070 GRE? Is it dead among the RAM apocalypse? Don't worry, it's okay. I got one. So, I mean, I guess maybe we could see AMD come out and, like, I wouldn't call that a new GPU. They'd be like, oh, hey, by the way, this is coming to the US. I don't know. I don't know what actually, I should ask maybe somebody. Oh, you know what? I know somebody who's over in Taiwan right now. Maybe they'll stop by the stores and be like, oh, hey, can you see how many of these 9070 GREs are in stock over there?
Yeah.
Who knows?
I just don't I don't know what I want out of CES this year. That's what it all boils down to is there's nothing. I mean, I guess the I keep wanting to say Phantom Lake, but Panther Lake laptops are interesting.
I mean, this is I really do think this is a big turning point for Intel, right?
I mean,
like their first process, I
hope
like
so.
the 18A stuff,
Yeah.
like it's highly advanced. They're talking a big game on performance stuff, so I think that's why they're going to lean into this, and Nova Lake will be like probably just a little like, oh, hey, by the way, we're still working on this, but they're not going to release both at the same time.
no, it'll be hey, here's the chip. Look, you can see the chip, and I bet there'll be some motherboards on displays that have the sockets covered. So
Oh,
hey,
hey, I've done
your
those
CES
videos
prediction.
before. There you go. The other CPU part is that there are rumors of 9000G series. So essentially APUs with Ryzen 9000.
I would be excited to see that.
Yeah, so it would be Zen 5, so Zen 5 cores, and then RDNA 3.5, which would essentially be like the step up, like a Strix Point laptop or handheld or laptop part, which is good, solid 1080p performance. So, like, I could see that.
So, I mean, I don't know if you actually asked this as a question, but I would say that for me, what I would hope to see out of CES and just kind of the general hype around that we see, at that show every year. And I want to preface this by saying that I don't want it to see it as a permanent thing because I think it would slow progress and also kind of almost depress people's expectations of what to expect from progress, and we will end up in a situation where we have similar to having 4 cores, 8 threads on processors for like how many godforsaken years. But I would like to see, in response to this kind of slowing or just constraints, more technologies and more ways to get better efficiency and use out of what we already have, if that's what we already have available to us, right? And I think that's going to be a combination of software focus, obviously, but just, maybe just more focus on drivers, efficiency in Windows. Excuse me, please. Thank you.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's a whole
And
separate
that's not really
thing.
what they show at a consumer trade show,
Yeah.
because they're usually showing off more of like, hey, this is what we're launching this year. This is what we're really excited for. But I think that's more, to me, that is really where consumer minds would be, because I am excited from a fan in this, not fan, but like a observer in the stands kind of perspective of what's going to happen with Panther Lake. But I don't think I'd be recommending it to a lot of people in this coming year, because a lot of them have done they've prepared for their purchases this holiday season. They're prepared to hunker down, if not for the next couple of years. So yeah, I think it's more of going to be like almost watching your sports team do your thing, as opposed to being able to be at the stadium.
I hope my hope is that we see, like, if the RDNA 4 generation was really kind of like, the reason they didn't push high end there wasn't a, hey, we can't beat them, so why even bother trying? It was a, this is going to be a short generation. We're not going to, there's no reason to push these high end parts. Like, I would love to see RDNA 5 info, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think realistically there's any reason for anybody to do anything right now.
I mean, the other part, which actually AMD has signaled that, what is it? I think it's December 11th. They're going to reveal
10th.
Redstone. So
Wednesday. Next Wednesday.
I'm actually surprised. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm not surprised, because I remember Jack Hune, one of the executives over at AMD, said Redstone is coming this year. So it's probably like, technically it's coming this year, but really CES is probably going to be like, the launch of it. But yeah, I bet they could talk about it more
already.
there. Well,
it's soft launched already.
In one game, in one scenario. Yeah. But so I think that's the other part of it, is that a lot of people are hoping that maybe it'll get back ported to older AMD GPUs, which would be good.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Not
either.
officially.
Yeah. Or if they do offer it, it would have to be heavily caveated with, hey, listen, this is not apples to apples. This is a different kind of FSR implementation, FSR 4 implementation on older GPUs. But
my
probably be too confusing.
My Redstone question is it named after the stuff in Minecraft, or is it named after the rocket from the 50s?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
call
going to be
up
your top
Lisa right
question
now.
when you get to.
It's number one.
Yeah. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Question.
Yeah. Dear Lisa.
Why'd you name this way?
Why haven't you
I
done
mean,
the
if
over
that's-
9,000 edition of the rate? That's the real.
Dude,
over 9,000.
That's over
seriously.
9,000.
Like the Dragon Ball Z collab.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh man,
that's how you
Could
get
have done
to,
her for
that's
the
how you get to
CPU
sell
too.
things.
Yeah.
Could have done it for the
Hey, we
CPU
have
too.
nothing. We have nothing new to sell this year. What can we do?
Dragon Ball.
What do you think about Goku, Lisa? Okay.
You know what though? I feel like companies really sleep on the fact that, a lot of us in the younger generations cannot afford homes, so we have to make ourselves feel at home somehow.
Yeah, that's why you buy all those Funko Pops. It just makes you feel more at home.
And Labubu.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
if there's an AMD roundtable, we'll get it invited to, and I'll be like, hey, Lisa, what's your favorite anime? And why is it Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, you have a little bit of time left to do this collab.
Yeah.
You could get the high hair, like Lisa wears a Goku wig. That'd be amazing. People would love
Yeah.
that.
There you go.
Yep.
Boom.
Thank you, Dr. Lisa.
That's why we're not in the marketing
Imagine.
department.
Yeah.
I will say though that I think for this year at CES, what I'm going to be keeping an eye out for is stuff in that lower mid range for hardware, just to kind of see, not necessarily from the companies that produce the chips, but like what manufacturers and vendors are doing with that, to get kind of an idea of, what can we expect as consumers? Where are they going to shave, if they're going to shave down specs or cut corners? And how can we, what is there to be excited for? Like I already mentioned the software stuff. And I do think that, how do I put this? I called it a soft launch because I think that a lot of times companies would do something like that where they put it in one game. I mean, that's kind of what we saw with RTX when it first launched. It was like really few games, right, at first. And then they let it sit for a long time. So the fact that it first appeared already in Call of Duty, and now they're following up on it in December, I think it's actually a good sign.
It's a good sign. I think it's just people probably need to temper their expectations. If
I don't think it's gonna,
if you're expecting
that's the second
FSR 4 to be backported to your GPU, just
that would take time too. Like they haven't even launched it fully for like the main lineup of cards, the 9000 series. So
No.
yeah, so
You're better off running something like lossless scaling probably than waiting for that at this point.
for older GPUs.
For older GPUs,
yeah. Anyway, I would the last. I'll save this for the prediction episode. So never mind, because this is apropos of nothing.
Well, Adam just took a topic and put it back in his pocket.
There we go, in the pocket. Anyway, let's get over to questions. We got some really good questions.
Oh.
We're 102 minutes deep in the show, so let's go over some questions. If you got a question right now that's like burning a hole in your pocket, please take it out, put it in the chat at the Full Nerd Network, and hopefully we can see it and in time to read it here live on this episode. But if you're listening or watching later, it's okay. You can still get your questions in at our Full Nerd Discord. You go to the link in the description. There is a channel in there called TFN Questions. Questions only, please. You put a question in there any time of day. Day, night, morning, evening, afternoon, anytime you want. And hopefully we will get to it on the next show. That makes sense.
I've been told that when Adam
sense.
when Adam wakes up in the morning, the first thing he does is leap out of bed and go straight to the questions vault and looks in there to see what new questions have come in overnight. That's what I've been told.
Sure, yeah.
Some people are saying that.
It's how I wake up.
Yeah.
So a cup of coffee.
Please,
brush
God,
my
let there be
teeth,
some good questions.
Check the
in there.
questions and be like, oh, please.
Thank
Actually, you know what? We have some really good questions.
They're bangers. So yeah, it's a good, good haul this week.
Like not to pick out anyone specifically, but there was some really good questions in here. So thank you. Keep them coming. The first one I want to bring up is a interesting one from Hampo Campo, a friend of the show. I don't know if I've seen them around before, but do review samples usually not come with retail packaging and accessories like manuals? Personally, I think good packaging and manuals can be the deciding factor when choosing which products to buy. They go on some more, but yeah, essentially that's the crux of the question. And I think the answer is complicated. It depends on what you get. Elena.
I think it's more of what they decide to send you.
Yeah. Well, because I would say it's not, there's actually a third category. Like the first category is getting retail packaging, and I would say that is the best case scenario
most of the time for most non like CPU and GPU components. In my experience,
like laptops, we usually end up getting
full retail
packaging. I mean, sometimes maybe it's
like
missing
accessories, keyboards, mice, trackballs, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and yes, that is the best case scenario because you can evaluate it and say, oh, okay, this is what you're going to get. This is what you're not going to get. It is a little bit harder if they don't give you that stuff. But also, I don't know if I could think of a scenario where packaging would change my thoughts too much, other than okay, what else comes in the packaging, right? If it's a laptop that ships without a charger, okay, I think that's a problem.
The accessories.
Yeah, but if it's like a laptop that's oh, does it come with a sleeve or not? I mean, it'd be yeah, that's not a.
I mean, it also depends on the price band, right? Because if you're getting let's say, just random numbers at this point now, if you're getting a $300 laptop in for review and it does include a sleeve for the laptop and maybe even, I don't know, an extra dust cover or something, I don't know, but something along with it, then yeah, that can play a role into perceived value. I don't think it negates the meat and bones of the review, which would be the performance, right, and the usability of it. But those are things that we can and often, I would say at least sometimes, take into account as reviewers. Those can be a little harder to evaluate, though, because it also depends where in the cycle that you're getting the product, right? So if they send it to you way in advance, then oftentimes the retail packaging isn't ready yet. So you don't get to see that.
It's like pre-production, or they'll call it a sample or something like that. So usually it'll come with a list of hey, listen, here are the things that are going to be different, from the actual final thing.
In the print days, you would get, Intel would just send over a tray of CPUs, and it had each of the new variants, or sometimes they just send one or two of them, right? But that's when we were working on a 3-month lead to get to launch the magazine at about the same time that the actual web coverage would go up. The these days, like video cards are almost always retail packaging. CPUs are often very close. Like the final printing might not be on the box, but it'll be in the same thing that you like. It's the same plastic pop out thing in the same kind of unfoldy box.
Well, it depends because that's the third category. Like I feel like it's either, yes, retail packaging. Second category is either pre-production or some sort of like, oh, hey, you know what? We sent you the thing and it doesn't have the full retail packaging.
Or you have to do a firmware update the day of. Or
yeah,
something.
yeah. The third one I feel like we see often is some like a CPU, like a influencer package. It's like, okay, well, this is not the retail package. It's an influencer package. It has some, you know, like big stand-up thing, or the actual box is. I mean, sometimes they'll put the retail package in the box so you can at least see that, but sometimes it doesn't. Like you know,
no, I've gotten those.
Right, you know what I mean. So
and that's
I guess
actually
kind of the third thing.
Sometimes it's kind of frustrating for me actually, because I'm thinking this is neat and all, but this doesn't actually help me evaluate what it feels like to get the thing. Because if they don't, the better ones from my perspective as a reviewer, the better ones are when they encase this standard retail packaging in something else, because then at least I can get to the actual retail packaging. Yeah. The ones that are hard for me to evaluate is when they just put the product in a fancy thing that is not going to be related at all to what the consumer sees.
Yep.
Makes it very hard for me to evaluate it from that perspective.
The other one that makes me crazy is when people ship something and they're like, oh yeah, the software will be ready on the embargo date. And you're like, you know, the embargo date is the product release. And they're like, hey, we're shipping beta software. It's like, I can't, there's nothing I can do with this. This is not like the software is bad right now. You're saying it's going to be better. I don't have any way of evaluating that, and that stinks. So, anyway.
So the second part of the question, which I want to get to, is also not just the packaging, but also the manuals. So they have a scenario where they were talking about looking at a Dell monitor, and the manual, you know, had certain things, but the MSI monitor had less things. So, like, we've seen this with motherboards, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's Gigabyte who usually shows like actual.
Everybody does now, but for a long, it used to be that Gigabyte showed you where your PCI Express lanes and USB ports are, how they're wired up. It would be like, this one is on root hub 1, these two ports are on root hub 2, these ports are on a second controller that's like some new version of USB that's not built in the chipset. And that stuff was incredibly important.
That does matter.
If you have, like, if you're doing professional audio. In the old VR days, back when VR required like 4 USB devices plugged into your computer, it was really important then. These days, the USB is a little bit less important. But it's
nice to have that.
But also knowing that when you plug in an NVMe and a PCI Express card, both of those things are going to get half the lanes that they would if only one was plugged in, is really nice to know before you've built your computer. And you're like, why is this SSD so slow? And then you're like, oh, great, fantastic, and. It, like that example in particular always gets people because they're like, oh, well, okay, it's just there's only 2 lanes, but it'll probably just run at PCI Express 5, but with 2 lanes, and it just doesn't work that way in reality. So anyway, yeah, don't publish that stuff. It's good to look at those manuals before you know, because nobody talks about that stuff in reviews really.
Well, but I think on the thing we have been seeing is a move more and more to no physical manual in the box, and it's just a QR code for either setup or a manual.
Makes me sad.
Maybe there's like a quick sheet, but you know, it's like, to get the full details, you scan a QR code. Yeah, so you hate QR codes.
Yeah, Elena hates the internet. I heard.
I like both. So I like being able to find the digital version of the manual directly, because what I like to do is save those, right? So I'll download them and save them so that if I need to reference them, or so that the site or that page for that product gets nuked, at least I have a copy and I don't have to go digging in some potentially shady sites to go find a copy of it, right? Like, they're not actually shady, but they always feel a little like, do I want to trust them when I'm opening a PDF?
You want a recovery manual for your video card and your TV?
I know.
You want the service manual for your car? You can turn on the secret mode that lets you get better gas mileage. Just put water in there.
It's a little unnerving for me. But I like a paper one too, because there's something very useful about being able just to spread the pages open and have it next to you for reference. That I am, I guess, maybe more tactile in this way. I don't feel like I get that same experience on like a laptop screen or a tablet screen.
I will say, I hate when I'm like working on a new PC and I'm like, I got to get the manual, and instead of getting a laptop or something, I'm like, get my phone, and then it's like one of the glasses down, like the pictures are always too small for the phone screen.
Yeah,
it's a bad experience.
Why I like having a paper manual.
But also, the paper manual just ends up in.
You need a bigger phone.
No, I don't.
I
don't want your
phone.
weirdo, foldy, lumpy phone. The problem fundamentally is that the paper manuals always end up getting jacked up, and I never find them when I need them. So I always go for the website. And I used to be like you. I used to save those manuals. I'd be like, I got to keep all these manuals. I got to keep the manual for I have the manual for my air fryer. I have the manual for the ice maker that I put in the freezer a few years ago.
Put on your NAS and
I just put on the NAS, and it's all in a folder. And when I go look for them, I have no idea where they are. So I just go to the website and I download it again, which is why in my downloads folder there's like BX560 motherboard manual parentheses 4. Because every time I need it, I just go download it again. So there's 4 or 5 copies in there. And just download. Always be downloading.
Well, you got to do it this way, dude, which is you create a couple of folders, not even that granular because it gets too unwieldy. But like one is just PC, one is like just tech, which is like general tech, and like one is like home, right? And then you just put them in these separate buckets, so at least you have a starting point to figure out where one would be.
But why? I'm just going to go to the website and download it anyway because it's going to take me 10 seconds to figure out where I saved those.
You could also just name them.
I mean,
but it sounds like you have a problem with storage naming and configuration.
Adam is Adam is the most organized of us all when it comes to file systems. It's unreal how tidy he is.
Keep it simple.
Ask Copilot, Will, next time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, have Copilot. Hey, Copilot, can you organize all these manuals?
Recall.
Oh, recall. Yeah. Find my manual.
Turn on recall. I'll be fine.
Perfect.
What was I doing on December 8th, 2024?
Come on. All right. So another question from friend of the show, Liquid R. Is the Steam Machine the promised one? Is it the PC2?
The one.
I just thought that was kind of funny. No,
You were the chosen one.
Yeah, you were the chosen.
It is kind of like Anakin Skywalker, and it has like a leg and two arms and a leg, an arm and 2 legs lopped off.
Okay.
Spoilers, I guess.
yeah. Spoilers. Dang. Wow. Also, wasn't there already a PC2? I brought this up because wasn't there something that claimed to be PC2?
Was that one of those? Hey, we made a $700 computer that's a console dealies from like 2010? I can't remember.
It was something Gordon always brought up that there was some sort of like.
Of course, it was
PC2. Like somebody came out and was like, "Yeah, this is a sequel for the PC."
How many times do you think they're going to talk about Copilot at CES in keynotes? You think anybody's going to mention Copilot?
I bet that Microsoft money is still probably flowing enough that the companies will be like, "Yeah, we'll take it. We'll keep making that key. Okay. We'll keep bringing it up in our marketing materials.
We'll replace the right alt key or the menu key or whatever it was."
Yeah. No, Copilot. It's your man. It's your Copilot. Right? Here's a question from a friend of the show, Brian. My lawyer wife has been using a 42-inch 4K 120 hertz LG C4 OLED for the past year for work as a monitor.
Nice.
Wow. How far back does
That's a big monitor. And now she refuses to go into the office because she is so unproductive with their dual 1440p monitor setup. Actually, I've heard this a lot. People saying like, "Hey, my home setup is so much better than the work setup."
I love that her going to a dual 1440p monitor situation is like, no, I could never. I love that, genuinely.
To get to the question, even Hardware Unboxed have had great results 18 months into using a 42-inch OLED as a monitor. Have you tried to use an OLED TV as a big monitor? And if so, what were your experiences like? And would you recommend them to a friend? You're probably asking the wrong people. Yeah, I don't think any of us would use a TV as a monitor, right?
I thought about it.
Surely. Well,
yeah.
What? This was back in my days.
Back in my day.
Back in the college days, I only had
you only had a TV.
I only had a TV. So really, I added was it like a? Wow. I think it was a 42-inch LCD TV, and I edit off of that. So Was
it on your desk, or did you have a lap board on your couch that you would do work? What was the setup?
Let's see. I think it was at one point I did edit off a laptop and hook up an HDMI cable to it, and then I switched over to a PC and had like a wireless keyboard and start editing off of like from a couch to.
So you were at a distance. So.
At a distance,
okay.
on like a coffee table and whatnot. So,
I know some people who swear by this, like having a huge TV as a monitor. I can't. It's just not.
Well, my room isn't set up for it. Like I'd have to have it for like I don't have enough space between where I sit and where the monitors are.
Yeah.
I did the math.
Yes. Math.
So I mathed this up.
Mathing?
I took the number of pixels you get by multiplying a 1440p display, whatever the resolution is. I never remember. 2440 by 1400 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I multiplied that by 2 for 2 monitors. So that's 7.372 million pixels.
Okay.
And then I figured out how many pixels are in a 4K display, which is 8.294 million pixels.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely more pixels on the 4K. She's not wrong. She's got more room to work there, and thus more productivity can come. The more pixels you have, the more productive you are. That's just
I don't know.
science.
I like having dual monitors. So like I still personally would go with 2 smaller monitors than one big monitor.
I did like having dual monitors back in the days before I discovered tiling window managers. Now it doesn't matter. I'm just tiled all the way.
Wow. Way to do a callback to a pre-show conversation, like actual before the show started conversation.
Consider, if you're interested in learning about tiling window managers, consider Dual Boot Diaries, a fine podcast, wherever fine podcasts are found.
If you're interested in Linux.
I didn't say that. I said tiling window managers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other part of the question, I think, is OLED. So I've been using, earlier this year, Asus had sent an OLED. I can't remember. It was like a 4K OLED from, I think it was CES, right? Was it CES or maybe Computex?
The 4K OLED, the Asus one. That was they announced that at CES and it came out around.
So I've been using
Computex
that
time.
on my work machine.
Yeah,
which I barely game on it, and just using it as
kind of wasting it, huh?
I mean, it's still a good monitor.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, and like. So I have been putting it through its paces of like, just using it for work. And I mean, I haven't seen any burn in. Like I haven't seen any problems with that. So like, yeah.
Do you do the 16 every 3 hours? It does
well, this one defaults to 8 hours, I think.
Yeah.
Usually I dismiss the reminder because it's like at a bad time.
Yeah.
But like if I'm like, oh, hey, I'm going to go like eat lunch or something, I'll manually trigger it. Okay. So yeah, usually I get to do the refresh once a day. Like sometimes there's days where I'm just like, I'll put it off. But
when I was testing that MSI OLED, I found it felt like I was getting less eye strain from having the like I just ran it a little dimmer. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. OLED.
My turn. My turn.
Yes. Yeah. Elena, what are you rocking?
My turn to weigh in. So I do an ultra wide, and I guess maybe a quote more normal ultra wide. I'm not going like ultra wide like the 49.
You don't have like a G9.
Like a friend of mine had like the crazy like Samsung, G9 whatever, and Odyssey, it was a thing of beauty. Yeah. But it's really strange because so for my personal preferences, one of the reasons I don't do a TV sized monitor, or basically a TV as a monitor, is because it is a little just big for me. I feel like even when I'm sitting back from it. So I like to sit like a certain distance from it that puts me closer already. And then on top of that, it's really strange because my peripheral vision is pretty good, I think, just because of the body that I was born into. I can see pretty far on the sides, but for some reason, when things are moving or there's activity, I like to have it in that kind of core section of my vision. And there's something about having like the edges of the monitor, like that's why I don't like flat monitors either that are like that wide, because there's something about having that like flatness so close and on the edges of my peripheral vision that feels really weird to me.
One of the big knocks against using TVs for a long time was that they weren't set up right for subpixel font rendering.
Yeah, like real blurry. It was hard to get crisp text.
I feel like is a lot less of a problem now at 4K, especially now that you can tune your subpixel font rendering on the OS on at least on Windows. I haven't tried that on Linux yet. But yeah, I think it's a fine solution, especially like, I don't know about lawyers. I know a ton of people who play games and use a big giant TV as their primary monitor, and they're primarily using their PCs for games. Like Dan Stapleton, formerly of IGN, is famous for like he's been beating that drum for 2 decades at this point.
I used to work near him, and he had, so like a decade ago, he had 2 32-inch like 1440p monitors at his desk, which was just, it was gigantic. And the man was sitting close to them too. So
Yeah, he would rest. He wanted full field of
he
vision.
wanted full immersion,
Yeah.
which is like the opposite
gross.
of me. I like it to be like narrow in a cone, like right in front of me.
Cone of silence. All right, a couple more and we'll get out of here. Friend of the show, Liquid R, has an interesting thought experiment. Okay, it's multi questions baked into this, so I'm just going to go through them. What if the AI naysayers are wrong and there's no bubble to burst? Do RAM and related hardware prices hit the stratosphere, making new computing and gaming products out of the hands of consumers? Do memory makers finally increase capacity to meet demand? Does the market even out as the AI industry matures and the need to tool up quickly subsides, or something else?
I mean, if there's no bubble, then the need to tool up is never going to subside.
No, you think so? You think it's just an infinite increase to tooling up?
OpenAI said that they needed to build $1 trillion worth of data centers the other day.
I mean, but like, can they sustain that? Can they
I don't
continue to
think
build
so.
$1 trillion?
But the question is, what if the AI naysayers are wrong?
Well, yeah, no, and I'm saying if there is no bubble to burst, can they continue to build and build and build and build?
They are
at that
saying
same rate?
that is their intent.
Yeah,
without regard for math or the amount of money in the world.
Well,
or
then I would say the memory manufacturers probably would then be like, oh, okay, you know what? We feel like we're not worried, because the problem is right now is that the memory manufacturers are not scaling to meet the demand. They're like, we're worried that if this is a bubble, then we're caught with a ton of memory. So we're just going to continue the same output.
Yeah. But the problem is that it's not the only thing that would have to scale. And I think that's also, so to answer the question on its face, which is, if it's not a bubble and demand always goes up, will it keep scaling? And my answer is maybe, just because there are other things that are constraining things as well. Like, a lot of these companies have come out and said specifically that there's not enough electricity for them to run at the scale they want to.
Yeah, there are multiple power companies now that have said, hey, you can't build any more data centers. We're not going to supply power to data centers in our region because we will degrade service for the human beings who use our electricity too.
Yeah.
So
at that point, then it's not infinitely scaling. It would taper off.
But
and then it would just be like, oh, okay, well, this is what it costs to, produce AI stuff.
I mean, I think this is a kind of actually ties into the conversation. Will is, for audio listeners, Will is just has his arm propped on the table and his head.
Liquid R
and
said
his
AI
hand is
and
massaging his temple.
His blood vessels burst.
Yeah. I would say that, I think this is similar to what we talked about earlier in the show, which is that we're looking at a point where we have to start thinking about efficiency, right? Like, I think just throwing raw power at all of this isn't going to be sustainable for the long term. So it's no different than what we've seen, like maybe on a tiny scale, relatively speaking, with how power hungry some of 13th and 14th gen Intel processors, in that era of processor where they just went for just raw power, energy use to get that power. And then the subsequent generations, going back, kind of refining that. I think AI is going to, if it's not a bubble and they need to keep going, and they are going to keep going, they're going to have to look at how to do things in a way that would be more efficient use of the hardware, so it doesn't necessarily need just raw power to literally electricity, but also more data centers, more CPUs, more storage, all that, in a way that they can just make it more efficient.
Which I mean, theoretically, then would trickle down to us gamers too. Of hey, because I mean, listen, the best gaming CPU out there is an 8-core CPU. That's, there are 16-core CPUs out there. But 8 cores is the top of the chart.
It's all the cores you're ever going to need.
Yeah. But that's still, sorry, I wasn't clear enough. You're not wrong about that in terms as an idea of efficiency, but what I'm talking about more is from the software side. Where it's how are you asking things to be done? How can you make it more efficient so it doesn't necessarily need all of this hardware compute power to do it, right?
You could argue that we've already seen models that use much more efficient, that are much more, like the DeepSeeks and those models coming out of China are much more efficient because they're limited in the GPUs they can get legally. And I would argue that OpenAI's insistence they need to keep building bigger and bigger data centers is probably them building a moat around their increasingly tenuous business they're saying, hey, if we build a bunch of hardware of data centers, it'll be harder for us to fail because there will be all these things being propped up by local businesses and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's antithetical to what consumers actually seem to want, at least on the AI side. I think, there was a thing that came out late last week. PC Gamer had a really good headline that was like hold on, let me find it. Give me just a second. Stall and I'll find it.
While you're looking this up, I will just throw in my 2 cents about this, which is I'm really glad to hear that there are some municipalities that are limiting like their willingness to supply power, because I think decentralizing that a bit is better.
Yeah.
Just because if this bottoms out, like in the United States, we've all seen what happens when a business becomes too big to fail. We end up eating the cost.
Yeah, we own the data centers. Here's the headline from PC Gamer. This was Tyler Wilde, a friend of the show, Tyler Wilde, who's a delightful human being, on November 21st wrote,
I miss him.
Microsoft's head of AI doesn't understand why people don't like AI, and I don't understand why he doesn't, because it's pretty obvious. And then there's a bunch of thinking emojis as the lead art. So good job, Tyler. They're like, people are rejecting this pretty much wholesale, with the exception of a few industries. And I don't understand why we're investing trillions of dollars. We've talked about this to death. We don't need to say it.
Well,
I don't
it's
think
interesting you bring this up. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just think as long as we have enormous, like the AI people have burned through the VCs, they burned through the banks, the investment banks. Now they're into sovereign wealth funds where they're raising money. Those are the people left that have enough money to move the needle for them. And after we get to sovereign wealth funds, there's no more people with more money that I'm aware of. Like that's where the big, in the investment world,
Speak for yourself.
That's where the big money is, the big cheddar.
Willis has got a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
No,
After the sovereign
Correlation
wealth
here.
funds, there's Willis.
Somebody's asking if you can put the link
I'll put
in
the
chat.
link to the
Yeah.
PC Gamer article, and I think I already closed the window, but I can
You
command
got history.
Shift T.
Look at that. Yeah.
Control Shift T here. Boom! It's right back.
Here's-
I just think we're in a
sorry, go ahead.
position where there's no. We can't preface things by saying, "Hey, if the naysayers are wrong, this isn't going to fail," because we're talking about ludicrous amounts of money at this point. Anyway,
We're talking about ludicrous money. I
Yeah,
just think the
Liquidor.
money's not being spent well, in my opinion, right? We had this, oh my God, I think you missed the whole thing, but we had this gigantic multi-day conversation in the Discord server about AI, and you and me specifically ranting about it and how we're just old boomers who are out of touch, who hate technology.
Yeah, I
basically
hate
was kind of
technology.
one of the takes.
that's fine.
And we talked it through, and that's fine. It's good. Like I think that it is always healthy to discuss it. I think for me, it's that there's a lot of things getting conflated in the single phrase AI, right? And I think one of the things that we're really talking about here is this idea, and I want to put it clearly out there so that people understand the context of how I mean this, which is, if we're spending all these resources to allow somebody to ask a chatbot to create a picture of their dog wearing a birthday hat. I mean that's amusing, entertaining, but I think if resources are finite and we're worried about a bubble, I'm just so confused, honestly, why all these companies have come to the public advertising AI in this way. Right? If they said like, hey, we want to scale up our AI businesses so that like we can find better cures for cancer, so that we can better detect poisons in the water and other things like that, I think people would be much more on board with the use of these resources. Like, yeah, okay, your AI technology can help save some kids from this horrible disease they were born with. Yeah, I would ration my water for that. Like those are the things that I care about. But instead when somebody's like, yo, AI is so cool. Like I got to do this thing where like I put your face on this, and I'm like,
Hey man, I could put you in a Star Trek
I'd
episode.
rather have lower
Yeah.
electricity prices if that's what we're talking about. That's all I'm saying right now.
I mean, like, I've said this before, but I always use my parents as a barometer for this stuff. But I don't even know if they're aware. They probably are to a certain degree, but like, my mom will talk about using ChatGPT all the time to do something, either ask it a question or help visualize something or just random kind of stuff. I don't even think she understands the implications of the, of what that means and what it's doing. Yeah. So yeah.
And again, if the local NPU thing were to really take off, I'm also okay with that too. Where it's like if those are good enough to do some of these things that we're asking large language models to do for us, like eventually we got to a point where you're like, yeah, you're asking Copilot version 40 or whatever to create that, dog with the birthday hat, and you're choosing to put your money, your electricity use towards that. Great. I would rather things that are being subsidized or funded by the group personally to go towards things that also benefit more of the group as a whole.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
And we say this every week. The thing that I don't like are the generative models. The AI, the stuff like Gentlestone is talking about in the chat, like using machine learning to detect for tumor detection and pattern recognition and things like that. Fantastic. AI transcripts, fantastic. We love them. They're much better. Yeah, I mean, sorry to all the stenographers who are now out of work, I guess, who used to do a bad job.
Hate stenographers.
Transcribing football games.
Wow.
But like,
you don't like crazy closed captions? I always thought that was
I do,
entertainment into itself.
I do like the bad closed captions, and I like it when they're like 30 seconds behind the actual thing. And anyway, the point is, there are definitely good uses of the technology. The stuff that we're spending insane amounts of money on has heretofore, outside of programming, been kind of crap at best. And like, I just, anyway, I'm.
Well, speaking of the NPU thing, actually somebody did bring up a question. Friend of the show, Darth Monkey 28, the 28th Darth Monkeyist, asked, what do you guys think about NPU technology? And this is actually something I had talked about with the team up at when I was up at Intel a couple weeks ago, and also at the ITT thing. So, like one of the things that was interesting to me is that when I talked to Tap, friend of the show Tap, he's been on before, is that he's like, hey, listen, one of the reasons why games haven't been able to tap into the NPU stuff is because it's too simplistic. It's usually can only be taken over by one thing. Like CPUs are heavily multi-threaded. Yeah. Like, so, you can be like, oh, you go over there, do this, you go over there, do this. NPUs pretty much have to be just like single function at this point, and it's being right now being, eaten up by the OS kind of stuff, like, Copilot and stuff like that. So it's harder for a developer or some gaming part of the industry to say, oh, we're going to tap into this NPU stuff because maybe the NPU actually does really good at one specific gaming task, like upscaling, right? What if you could take the upscaling workload out of the GPU and put it on the NPU? I don't know. I'm just pulling stuff out of my whatever. Yeah. But like it is interesting that the NP stuff is I'd never heard anybody talk about it that way, that it's like it's still so simplistic in what it can do, and that it can't do a ton of things at the same time.
And what you end up doing is you end up seeing things like the background blur in your Studio Effects on your Windows 11 laptop with a Copilot NPU runs on the NPU instead of having to warm up the GPU with an NVIDIA Studio Effects or whatever.
Which can be a good thing.
Which is good. It uses less battery. That's great. That's fantastic.
But a lot of times I think most people probably end up using Zoom, like something that's built into the platform rather than the, the built-in Microsoft tool, as much as Microsoft would love that. But.
Even if the Microsoft tool is probably better. Sorry, Elena.
We actually have a good article, I feel like, about this. So longtime, tech journalist, Chris Hoffman, he's been at a ton of outlets, very well respected dude. He writes for us sometimes, and he actually wrote a little piece on the state of local AI and honestly how it's kind of disappointing right now. I actually hope that they don't give up on it, because the thing is that that's where it starts, right? It always starts in a more basic form, and it can only be built out from there. So it does feel like they introduce it in a kind of way where it's like it's a solution looking for a problem. But I think now that some of this has been more, the ecosystem has been built out more, I do see a potential way to use it. I just don't know, with all the hardware pressures around, all the pressures around hardware development right now, if that is what's going to end up getting developed as part of all this.
I think to Adam's larger point, Microsoft has to provide background plumbing for these things so that other things can share them. Because I think it was originally designed as a, hey, Microsoft has 50 tops of NPU power for Windows nonsense, and everybody else can go pound sand, which feels bad. That's not what I want my OS to do.
Yeah. Anyway, a couple more questions and we'll get out of here. Let's see, what's another one? Oh, we already answered that one. Agent Birdnest asked this, I think a couple weeks ago, will HDD prices go up as well? Have we seen anything about spinning Rust going up? Does anyone know?
I have not seen many reports that have mentioned this because I don't necessarily, because I think that that's not where the demand is right now. For me, what I did notice when looking at Black Friday deals, though, is that we didn't really see as much of a drop as I have in previous years, even on things like external hard drives, because I did cover internals for a while as part of my deals coverage, and then I realized that I didn't think a lot of people were really buying that many NAS drives or like large storage drives. So I ended up kind of redirecting some of my energy towards external stuff instead. But even that pricing, I mean, it has gone down. There was a deal on a 24 terabyte Seagate external drive. So that made it, it was like $240. So it's basically like $10 per terabyte, which is roughly where I think a lot of data hoarders go for. With some nuance to it, obviously, because they're looking more for more robust drives at the $10 per terabyte mark. And this is a little shy of that because I did do some searching. I put this in the newsletter too. It's like, I did do some searching. I know our crowd, and it is unclear if this is a true Barracuda drive, which is not as resilient, or if it's a rebadged Exos drive, which would have more resilience. So I said, like, you know what? Buy this knowing that, it may be a shorter term use kind of drive. But outside of that, it didn't really feel as fast and furious in that area. I personally think that's more related to the general economic conditions. I don't think that's necessarily to do with what I think are the pressures on hard disk drives, just because I think at this point, demand for that is pretty stable. Most people have moved to SSDs. And there's not necessarily that huge fluctuations of people really need it, people don't really need it. They're still buying it for, home backup or NAS drives or surveillance kind of stuff, just because the what's the word I'm looking for? The cost efficiency is so much better if you just need a lot of storage. But and that's probably going to be stable too, with storage also going up in price. In fact, if storage gets so bad for SSDs in terms of pricing, it could affect hard disk drives, but I'm not seeing necessarily production issue related type things around it currently from what I've seen.
Looking at Shuckstop, Shuckstop is the place where data hoarders go to find good deals on external drives. They track Amazon, eBay, Best Buy, B&H, and Newegg. And they have two columns for timing. So the lowest seen is the all-time low for the best price on a particular model of external SSD that's good for shucking. And none of those are newer than 369 days ago right now, which was last Black Friday.
Oh, wow.
That's not true. The 24 terabyte Easy Store, which is on the high end, the lowest price for that was $419, and that was 120 days ago almost. The last decent column, which is the last time it was a pretty good deal, a lot of those are today, a day ago, 50 days ago, or a year ago. And it seems generally speaking, looking at I'd say a mid-tier drive right now is, say, the 20 terabyte Easy Store, which, like you said, $10 a terabyte is usually what you're going for. The all-time best price they have for that was $250 a year ago. The current price is $330 at, I think, Best Buy. So their prices have definitely gone up.
Prices have gone up
on the storage, yeah.
But I'm still seeing deals on them, is what I mean to say.
Yeah.
When I saw the deals for SSDs during Black Friday, they were deals relative to the current market, but they weren't necessarily what I would consider deals.
Yeah.
Like just like, oh, that's a great price. Whereas I think with the hard disk drives, those deals were like, oh, that's a decent price, are still around. There are not as many of them, and the going overall price is higher. And that's sort of how I'm calculating my read of it, just because of that, where it's like, if I saw higher standard street prices and also more resistance in the discounted periods, then I would start getting worried. But I'm not seeing yet that much resistance in the discounted periods. It's just more of a reduction, and I'm attributing that more to this just general economic climate with the tariffs influencing how much it costs to bring things over and whatnot.
Yep. Okay.
And also probably people are buying them less, so the prices are going to start going up
Yes.
as a result. Like for a while, cheap large enough SSDs were good enough for most people, and you didn't necessarily need a 20 terabyte hard drive in your machine unless you were doing
Right.
something really specific.
Right. And that could change. That's what I just said, right?
Yeah.
Which is like, if the price for an SSD gets so crazy expensive, it actually might drive people back to hard disk drives
God.
to a degree. And I actually hate that idea for our future, but hopefully we don't get that apocalyptic with it.
Things are fine.
Yeah, okay. Last question. We had a question a while ago. Actually, more of a request from friend of the show, Deidus. Asked, could we get some pet pics from the Full Nerd regulars? I've enjoyed
yeah.
Adam's kitty making a few stream appearances when he's home. Yeah. I mean, I guess, Will, you don't have a pet currently?
I do not I have a child
Yeah.
instead of a
And
pet.
Willis also
Yeah.
does not have a pet currently.
But I always post photos of my neighbor's cat only
Neighbors,
because,
yeah,
yeah.
Even better.
they're good
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
All the adorableness without any of the necessary financial investment and care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So really, I think it's up to us, Elena.
I don't have a cat anymore. Remember? Mine passed away.
Well, I thought you had another cat at the house, though.
You're fostering?
No, I was fostering.
Oh, that was a foster.
So
Oh, okay.
for people who are newer to the show, I had a cat. He lived to 18. Unfortunately, his health got to a point at the end of 2023 where it was time, unfortunately, to say goodbye to him. And it was a really hard adjustment
Splat.
for me because it was Splat. We have stories about him that include me getting attacked and having to go to the hospital for IV antibiotics. And
got the cat
Will's
scratch
face
fever?
as
multiple times.
Wow.
well, they were really concerned about how deeply he bit me and how infectious their mouths are. So, yeah,
yeah.
he cost my health insurance, quite a bit of money.
Wow.
Gordon loved to bring this up every so often still because it didn't happen just once. It happened twice.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was a character. Let's just put it that way. But he was my only cat. It was my first real pet. So going from all that to absolutely nothing was a hard transition for me emotionally. So I fostered the winter after he passed. So had a temporary foster for a bit, and she did good for herself. She got adopted by a family from Atherton, which for all the locals, they will know automatically what I mean by that. And Atherton is a very, very expensive city in the Bay Area. Like
I haven't heard of it.
homes.
I would take a foster in Atherton right now. Somebody wants to take
You
me
would
in.
be
I'm
a foster.
available.
You would volunteer to be a foster in Atherton. So this kitty has her life set for her. So hopefully she has a wonderful, long, healthy life with a family who obviously very loves her and can take care of her. And she can spend her days looking at their custom tiled pool from the window.
Wow.
Fancy.
I mean,
Yeah, that was a nice house.
This is, I mean, I would consider this Silicon Valley, right? I mean, we're talking Palo Alto,
It's
Redwood
where-
City.
It's where
Menlo Park.
Facebook's
Menlo
headquarters
Park,
is.
yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's where Zuckerberg
So
used
Menlo
to live.
Park's already kind of posh, but Atherton just basically like intensifies that by a huge factor.
Dang.
The thing about Atherton, the thing about Bay Area, just in general down there, is you drive around, you're looking at houses, and you're like, "Oh, this is a nice looking house. So what could it possibly cost?" And then it's like $4 million, right? Like they're not.
And that's like a basic
not like-
starter.
They're not like
home.
mansions. Yeah, it's like a nice home, maybe with a pool, maybe. And yeah, anyway, Bay Area is ridiculous.
Yep.
Please.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's wrap it up. That was it.
That was the whole
Show's done.
show?
That's the whole show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And like I said, I mean, that's now we have even less in the baby's hand of episodes.
why do you
in
keep doing this?
The rest of the year.
A
Baby's
handful is
hand.
5 things.
Is it?
Yeah. How many fingers do you have in your, in your full hand?
I can fit more than 5 things in my hand.
How many fingers are on your hand?
Elena, please, you're the word person. Would you say a handful relates to the number of fingers you have?
No.
Yeah. No, well, I don't believe this.
The size of my hand is very different than the size of your hand.
Yeah.
So I couldn't possibly have the same handful size as you.
Yeah.
So just because you can hold 5 items in your hand doesn't mean I can hold the same 5 items in my hand.
Yeah, and so a baby has 5 fingers, but they can hold less thing in their hand.
You know what we can all agree on?
What?
You're a handful.
Oh, nicely
very
done.
true, very true.
Very nicely
and with
done.
that, check back next week for your Fix It PC Talk. It's the last normal episode of the year.
Some would say none of these episodes are normal.
True. Also, it's not that normal because when Elena Yee is going to be in again to do hosting duties, I will be in New York City.
New York City?
New York
Apple.
City. The Big Apple.
Oh, man, I'm going to send you to a Korean barbecue place. It's going to blow your mind.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have time.
You gotta
it's
eat
a
all
very
the
quick
food
trip.
while you're there.
It's a very quick trip. But that means, yes, I will not be here Tuesday, so enjoy it, soak it in, and have fun in the final normal episode of the year.
All right, Korean barbecue at the studio it is.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom.
Sorry, go ahead.
And if you want to tune into the show, or any show for that matter, live
Yeah, we
with
got all
us.
sorts of shows here.
Yeah.
You want Mad Men? We got Mad Men.
No. If you want to tune
Simpsons?
into
we got
this
Simpsons right here on this
show,
channel.
If you want to tune into this
We're doing
show,
bootleg TV broadcasts all weekend.
subscribe over on the Full Nerd
And
Network.
then we never air again.
We go live Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific. Ish. Great chatter in the live chat. Always a good time. Glad to have everyone over there. And, it's okay if you don't tune in live. It's kind of a weird time. There's probably a lot of people working. But that's okay. You can watch the show later. It's obviously up on YouTube. But if you would rather just listen to our voices and not see our ugly mugs, then download the podcast feed anywhere you want. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, Deezer, iHeartRadio. We should be on every single one of those services.
I would love to know where people are listening to us from. Like, are they driving the bus? Are they riding on the bus? Are they fixing a bus?
Yeah.
I have some ideas of things you could be doing that aren't bus adjacent, but I don't have any right now.
Are you listening, are you driving the kids to school and the kids are like, oh, Dad, you got to listen to this nerd stuff again? That would be fun.
Yeah.
And leave a review if you can, or a thumbs up or a heart or stars, whatever the platform uses. It's always, hopefully, will help us boost the show and get more people watching. Also, if you're like, you know what, I don't want to see you, I don't want to hear you, but I do want to read you, then we have that third option that is called the Full Nerd Newsletter. You sign up over at PCWorld.com/newsletters sign up. Sorry, I'll do that again. PCWorld.com/newsletters/sign up. And you can sign up for the Full Nerd Newsletter that Elena writes every week, fresh into your inbox on Friday morning. It's always a good time. She recaps the show. She has her own little ranting section. She kind of helps curate some other news that maybe we don't cover on the show itself. It's a good time. It's a really good time.
The kids
I
love
also
it.
include all. Yep.
What are you going to do with it over the break, the holiday break?
There will be something that gets published.
And there will be something that gets published. Okay.
published.
Well, sign up now. How much does it cost to sign up for this awesome newsletter, Elena?
$0. It's the best deal.
Oh, the best deal. And Elena likes deals. So
It's like getting a little bit of Elena's brain into your head every week.
Oh, I'm not sure if that's the best way
It's
to promote it.
people want that. It's good. It's what the kids crave.
If you're feeling like Hannibal Lecter, then go over to PCWorld.com/newsletters
I didn't say we're gonna eat Elena.
/sign up. And
No, leave
she
that.
just
Leave me alone.
slice off a little bit of her brain, just put it in your inbox.
A little bit of Elena.
I like living, dude.
Adam's been watching too much. Was it Monster series on?
Why did you
Hey,
assume?
hey, you know what? That the movie with Hannibal Lecter, the Silence of the Lambs is a great movie. Great movie.
He doesn't talk about brains though.
No, he eats brains.
I mean, it's hypothalamus.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, no, you will not get a piece of brain. What's up?
Also,
Incoming zine.
we did have
Zine.
a question about this in the Discord.
Yes.
So just to be clear, so next week is going to be a normal-ish episode.
Yep.
The week after that will be our best of 2025.
Yep.
Where we nominate our best picks for hardware and other
full nerd team.
various
Yep.
sundry things.
It's on the 16th.
And then that should be on the 16th. And then on the 23rd is when we do our predictions episode, which is when we all endure various forms of punishment for getting things wrong that we predicted last year. And I predict a lot of entertainment for you all and a lot of pain for us because, wow, this year has been a little bit wild.
What if our predictions were all exactly right and there's no punishment at all? Is there some sort of extra bonus that we get at the end of the year on that?
Bonus.
Like we get like
I think
everybody.
we just have to do a dance in celebration. I don't know.
I don't know about that. That
Let's go
sounds
get
like
boba
punishment,
after.
too.
Yeah, I haven't figured out what I'm going to do. I might, and as a remembrance, as a solidarity, I might do the Gordon thing and get a McMuffin and put paper on it and eat. Because number one, I don't like McDonald's. Number two, like I don't like eating paper either. But that was always something he did. So yeah, maybe I do that
I'm
this
just
year.
gonna take my shoes off every time I get something
mean-
wrong.
No, that's a punishment for us.
Yeah,
you
it
need to get
works.
punished.
No, I don't need to get punished.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, you will.
Wait, are there still?
Oh yeah, this is the first year where we'll actually might have to endure punishment.
you're right.
Last
Year I was
the
100%
first year,
correct.
and we
I
gave him
nailed
a
it.
bye.
He did.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have to.
No, my predictions
Okay.
were all rock solid.
Interesting.
There's still some Gordon predictions from last year, right?
Yeah, we'll have to take those.
I don't remember.
I don't know if I'm taking
'Cause-
Gordon's punishment. He
Well, 'cause-
he sent those to me as a gift from beyond. I think.
Yeah. Was it you or was it me? Because I usually take Gordon's. Yeah, when he wasn't here, I would eat his predictions.
Oh yeah. I don't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
I don't.
Anyway. Oh yeah. And I always take predictions from the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm eating for the chat
Yeah.
too, possibly. Yeah.
Well, but that was also man. It's.
I don't think the chat's punishing you, man.
No, the chat is usually very nice, which is great. Anyway, that's not next week. That's not even the following week. It's the following. So 3 weeks from today.
That seems like forever
is
from
going to
now.
be the final show of the year, and then
Yep.
we have a week off, and then the week after that will be the CES episode.
CES.
So good times.
And nothing's set in stone yet, but we are discussing something around Gordon for next month. So we will have more details for you hopefully soon about that.
Yeah, for sure. So anyway, that was a long outro. So let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap it up by thanking everybody here, not only in the chat, also listening, watching later. Thank you. I appreciate you. I especially appreciate Juanelina Yee, the streamer herself.
I was just going to say, don't forget everybody, keep your head warm when you're streaming.
Boom. Thank you, Will, for having a beard, for having hot AI takes, for not this
sick
Bluey
Bluey sweater? Do you know the Bluey
I
dance?
think it's cute.
Bluey rules. Have you ever watched Bluey? You would love Bluey.
I've watched Bluey, but doesn't he floss? Isn't it?
Bluey's
Yes,
a girl.
Bluey does.
Wow.
Okay, I
Bluey
guess I
does
don't know.
floss.
I guess I have not watched
Wow.
Bluey.
I thought you were a fan.
I've seen it. I've seen it animated.
Bluey teaches her grandparents to floss to make her younger sister happy.
That's such an old thing to do.
Well, but it's from Australia. They live a few years behind.
Okay.
Sorry, Australia.
Whoops, got me. And definitely thank you to One Willis Live for controlling the verticals and horizontals. Get us out of here.
All right, thank you, Adam. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I just peeked and saw USPS drop a large package out in front, and I think it's my Ninja air fryer. So I'm gonna go do an unboxing
For
real quick.
lunch. There
Thank
you
you,
go.
everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
There we
Bye.
go.
Oh, and if you're interested in Linux, Dolby Diaries.
Yeah.
Watch it now.